Marco.
Yo. Test. How we sounding? How we looking? How's it going? Hold on a second here. Let me post that we're live in the Discord. Forgot about the Discord. Live streams at everyone. We are live. Boom, boom. Okay. Quick PSA before we get into it. I just need to say this really quickly, okay? It's been 6 years now, as of yesterday. It's been 6 years since I started on YouTube and, started trying to do this thing and helping educate people about the dangers of multi-level marketing schemes. And it's been amazing, the fact that I've still been able to do this for this long and have you guys, some of you who have been watching me literally since 2019, is such a blessing, and I'm so grateful to still be doing it. And I'm just proud of what we've built so far. And I also want to just thank you guys for this. Normally I would do a GoonCon stream to celebrate, a celebration of the YouTube journey thus far, and the goons and the subscribers and all of it, which I may still do. But if you actually want to meet up in person, me and the goons, if you're in Edmonton, we're going to watch this live show called Scamway. I have nothing to do with the show. I just saw that it was being put on, that this production was being put on at the Fringe Festival. So if you're in Edmonton and you're interested in that, DM me on Instagram at alwaysmarco. But really, the announcement that I wanted to make is just a quick PSA, and I'm going to be doing a more in-depth video specifically about this, where I give you more information, because right now I can talk about this, but I need to still be careful about how I talk about it. So I have a video that I'm working on that I'm going to send to one of my lawyers and make sure that it's okay for me to talk about, but or rather make sure I say the right things, or rather that I don't say the wrong thing. But if you've ever considered supporting me, or you've been on my Patreon or YouTube memberships, I appreciate you, and I need you right now. And if you've been on the fence about it, or you've been a long time watcher, but you never paid your goon tax, consider doing it now, because not only is it GoonCon, not only is goon tax due every year at this time, but yeah, if you've been considering supporting me, me and the cult, we definitely need your support right now. And this is specifically for people who are on my Patreon. As of right now, my Patreon is frozen. I paused payments for everybody who's on my Patreon, so you will not be charged if you're on my Patreon for the next month. They let me pause it for a month, and if I'm not able to get this situation resolved within the month, then I'm going to figure something else out. But if you've been considering joining my Patreon or like YouTube memberships and you're not sure what to choose, I would just say, as of right now, go with YouTube memberships. This is related to one of my legal battles that, again, I am allowed to talk about it, but I need to be careful about how I do it. So forgive me for sparing the more minute details right now. But the people suing me in one of my lawsuits are going after my Patreon and trying to have all of the money that I generate from Patreon redirected to them. And I have a video, like I said, I have a video that I'm working on that explains how this happened and how this is possible at Always Marco. And it's just a completely fucking insane series of events over the last 2 years that have led to something like this even being possible. But I have my lawyers working on it right now. I have spent thousands and thousands of dollars that I don't have on lawyers to try to rectify this. But as of right now, Patreon, because of one of these legal disputes, informed me the other day that they're withholding my payments. I got an email from like an actual legal representative of Patreon, like one of their lawyers, I guess, telling me that they're withholding my earnings until they look into the matter. So yeah, that's all I'm gonna say for right now. If you're on my Patreon, check and see if there's a way to pause your membership until I get this rectified. I'll keep you posted about it. And you know, if that spooks you, then feel free to just cancel it and join my YouTube memberships instead. And if you're not on either and you're considering supporting me on one of the two, I would say as of right now, just hit up YouTube memberships, because I think they tried to go after my YouTube as well, but they weren't able to. So yeah, that's yeah, we're gonna figure it out. But I just wanted to say that I appreciate your guys' support, and you know, it's nothing new for you guys to hear me talk about legal issues in a vague, broad sense. And once I put out this video explaining to you the details of this one lawsuit and the thank you Kadisha, I appreciate you. Once I explain to you the details of this lawsuit and the, you know, calculated strategies that have gone into trying to destroy me and steal my money from the platforms that pay me, yeah, it's just gonna blow your mind. And by the way, I take special offense to them trying to go after my Patreon, because that's, as far as I'm concerned, not even my money. That's your money. So, you know, taking my money would be something that annoys me. Taking money that people are, like, hard-earned money that my supporters are spending to try to, you know, support my mission of continuing to educate people about MLM so they don't get scammed. An MLM company suing me to try to get that money? No. Period. So yeah, well, you know, as I said, I'll post a video. I'll post a video about it. But I just wanted to say that in the meantime, and I made a little note talk about that. So all right, that's done. So thank you. Okay. Now, moving on. What is up, everybody who's in the chat? All the goons, what's poppin'? Welcome. I love seeing all the members. Benjamin, Legend Gaming, Burger Baron. You love to see it. John Reardon, good morning from Japan. Ni hao. Where's the George Bush?
Ni hao.
There you go. Ni hao. The next Andrew, what up? Remember, kids, math is illogical. So true. Burger Baron, what's poppin'? Save some biceps for the rest of us. Oh yeah, you like that? Oh yeah, I gotta get in. See, they're so big, they're busting out the green screen. I mean, not the green screen. We're not in. This isn't a green screen. DTI, what up? DTI is coming to Scamway. Love that. Viz Mayhem says real goons would fly out and pay for tickets for their downline to join GoonCon as well. You know, team building. So true. So true. Patreon, I wouldn't say Patreon has bowed to the big money. Patreon is doing, you know, following their legal obligation based on the details of this lawsuit. But I'm gonna reserve talking in depth about it until I actually publish the video that my lawyers have reviewed. So yeah. Devin says time to gift memberships. So true. It doesn't feel right seeing Devin's name not be green. Kadisha, welcome. Executive team leader. Such a prestigious role within the cult. I mean, you know, we don't throw around words like executive team leader just willy-nilly, you know. You have to earn that. You know, that's a big deal. As a matter of fact, no company would ever throw around fancy-sounding words like that just to give an air of legitimacy to their workforce, which is an obvious pyramid scheme, right? What up, Walt Turner? Hey, Brandon, what up? Yeah, well, unfortunately, the people who are evil can wield power, especially when it comes to lawsuits. I talked recently about how if you're a company that's worth, let's say hypothetically, $1 billion, and it's going to cost you $500,000 to sue somebody, and you know that person doesn't have $500,000, well, there's obviously a balance of power, an imbalance of power, I should say. Critter, what up? Kadisha is honored. I'm honored, Kadisha. Thank you. What up, Hopine? Konnichiwa, ni hao is Chinese. I know, that was the joke, was that because we have the George Bush ni hao sound effect, and anywho. The next Andrew, are you in Edmonton? I got fleeced by a Forex MLM. Sorry to hear about that. Okay, first order of business that I wanted to talk about on this stream. The first order of business that I want to talk about is this video by the channel Too Lazy to Try. I'm sure you've seen his videos before. If you're at all interested in videos about like the stand-up comedy / podcast, comedy podcast scene, dude, I love this guy's videos. He's never shown his face on the channel, but he's so snarky, and I just think he's fucking hilarious. So he did a video just about 2 weeks ago called The PBD Crew Crash Out. And let me just say, it is so, it brings me so much joy to see the internet turning on Patrick Bet-David and his crew. And I would like to think that I played some role in that, even though it was probably a small role, because my video that I put out last year called Exposing Patrick Bet-David's Pyramid Scheme, where I explained how his MLM company, PHP, is an MLM company and how he's so slippery about answering questions about it, like in his debate with CoffeeZilla and in interviews where he's asked about it. But it is an MLM. He is a scammer. It is a scam. Just like every other MLM, most people lose money, on and on and on. And since then, several like really big YouTube video essays, documentaries, whatever you want to call them, have been released about Patrick and specifically about him being an MLM scammer. And I like to think that I sort of got the ball rolling on that, because it's been a few years since CoffeeZilla talked about it in a video, as well as did like an actual debate with Patrick Bet-David on a live stream. But since then, Patrick has become such a bigger media personality. He's a bigger character in the lore. So seeing people not only become hip to his background as an MLM scammer, but also like just being sick of him. Also just like being sick of him on his own show, like for other reasons unrelated to MLM, just like the dynamics of the show and the cast members. It's just so fucking funny. I like to believe, as much as it seems like that's not the way sometimes, I like to still maybe naively believe that scammers will get their just due one day, and that good will prevail over evil, and everybody will see through the smoke and mirrors and whatever. But, anyways, this video, let's just watch this video. I think this shit is hilarious.
I can't believe that you would associate with Andrew Tate. I can't believe that you would talk to Candace Owens. Oh, yeah? Shut the fuck up. This is what we do. We talk to people. We hear the truth.
That's a regular thing for us. The reason why I'm getting upset at Adam is I'm asking specifically, stop dropping F-bombs. I've asked him so many times. I don't like it.
My bad, sir.
Because when I do other things, guest says it. Kids are watching us. People want to put their kids in front of this. I'm not a fan of that. I've told you this hundreds of times privately. Now you're forcing me to say it to you publicly.
That's
okay. And Too Lazy to Try is going to talk about this in the in his video, but like, what kids are watching Patrick Bet-David? What kid? Like, I'm sorry. That's like being like, that's like telling me kids are watching Wolf Blitzer, like no kid is watching. I just imagine my nieces who watch like, stupid like gaming videos and like Roblox videos or whatever, and I'm just trying to imagine them sitting and watching Patrick Bet-David. Like, I don't know where Patrick got this delulu idea that kids are trying to watch the PBD Valuetainment podcast. No, they're not. No, they're not. Let's just go on. Hold on. Let's just go on to Patrick Bet-David's Valuetainment or whatever. No, PBD podcast YouTube channel. And let's just see like what some of the topics and guests are, so that I could like gauge if that's actually true. Okay, let's see. What are the kids into these days? Are they watching John Bolton Rated, Trump Emergency Briefing, Cracker? What is this? What does that say? Cracker Barrel Cooked and Newsom's Cringe, Trump mail-in ballot, Trump and Zelensky meet Putin, Trump and Putin meet in Alaska, Trump DC takeover. I mean, man, these kids who are watching the PBD podcast are just really interested in American politics. How about this one? Michael Wolff opens out about Epstein, Trump, Intel, and Clintons. How about Mossad launching missiles in Iran? How about Trump built their careers? How about Jeffrey Epstein is alive? Like, I'm sorry, Patrick. The kids are not watching the PBD podcast. I'm sorry. Okay. Trey Tino in the chat, what up? He says, I mean, Marco, you are one of the few anti-MLM creators that even gets the message across properly. Everyone else seems to focus on stupid shit and pearl clutching. Like you expose a deeper level of evil that most can't really grasp. You know, I appreciate that, Trey Tino. I think that is true in some cases. But yeah, I think very few people, even a lot of people who make content about MLM, might not actually, like, I don't think they're just, like, purposely omitting it. I think they might not actually even know or understand how deep it goes and how evil it is. Like, I think a lot of people think MLM is just like this silly little fringe kind of culty thing where people are like spending money on candles and essential oil and like, you know, maybe losing money or what, maybe making some money, but they don't really know how actually all encompassing and destructive it is. If they knew that it was more akin to Scientology in the way that its acolytes believe in it and live by it, I think a lot more people would be, you know, outraged by it. But yeah, I don't care. I don't care what, you know, what's going to happen. Yeah, people would be more worried. I mean, this is the thing. I've had people like unfollow me because I said bad words, or they unfollowed me because I was too jovial talking about Trump, like joking about Trump, or like doing the Trump sound effects. You know, just stupid political shit, which, you know, as much as I like sometimes do talk about political related things or politicians, that's because it's related. It's inextricably linked with MLM and like political corruption, lobbying, bribery. You know, the president, the current sitting president, was an MLM promoter for years, had his own MLM, made the Secretary of Education, Betsy DeVos of Amway in his first administration, on and on and on. So, but again, it's not a political thing, whether you're left or right. You know, you could literally be a Nazi, and I could explain to you why you should be upset about MLM, and you could be on the complete other end of the political spectrum, and you should be equally upset about MLM because it's an equal opportunity scam that doesn't care what ethnicity you are, what religion you practice, etc. It will happily take your money, and it will happily try to appeal to you and brainwash you. So, yeah. Okay, let's continue on here. PBD cosplay podcast. That would be hilarious if I made like a green screen background of the Patrick Bet David set, and then I like was pretending to be Patrick. That would be so fucking funny. MLMs do destroy families, says John Reardon. Yes, so true. Eric Nelson, what do you mean? I have talked about it. Tracino says, right, I remember that wave, but I see some of the people who stood against you back then posting content that is truly boring and talking about women's marriages and why they're morally incorrect, huh? It's wild how some people lost the plot. Well, who knows? Okay, let's continue on.
Fair.
All right, so the PBD podcast drama continues. This time we have Adam having a complete meltdown after spending all night partying in Vegas. The whole crew seemed fed up with him during this episode because apparently he showed up still drunk from the night before and he smelled like shit. And then he started bossing all the employees around at the podcast studio they're using. He had them running around getting them all kinds of stuff, which PBD seemed pretty annoyed about. Like he mentioned it right when the podcast started. And then halfway through, he's talking about how nice and respectful the staff is. And he says Adam put them to work. And then you can hear Vinny say, yep, like he also thinks Adam's being a diva. And then right after that, I think PBD quickly says, I'm so upset at Adam. I mean, it seemed like he's trying his best to hold back from lecturing Adam or saying something bad about him on the air, but he accidentally let it slip. And then
Holy, 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 holy. 10 new Bomba Ross Pussy Blood Clot members, Brandon C? Ain't no way. Holy, is this true? 10 memberships from Brandon C. Wow, the cult is getting so strong. Look at these names. Oh my God. When I read you these names, your jaw is going to drop. You're going to be starstruck. Brandon C received a gift membership by Brandon C. Of course, first and foremost. Real estate consultant. Hello. You know the name. Chef Raff. Reigning Woman. Come on now. Let's go. Zen. ADK. Sabrina Rivera. Roll out the red carpet when you see Sabrina Rivera, you know. Andrea Marquina. You know me love a Latina. Traveling Lunatic. Traveling Lunatic. Been in the cult. Devin. Look at Devin. Get it. Where did Devin's membership come from? How is Devin's name green all of a sudden? Was she part of that? I didn't see Devin's name in the list of people who got gifted, but I guess she did. Chat to like ratio needs some love. Oh, y'all not thumbs upping the stream?
Thumbs up the team.
Y'all not thumbs upping the stream, huh? Oh, okay, okay. Oh, maybe Devin repurchased it? I don't know. It doesn't say that, but there's like, her name is green, or is gray earlier on, and then I scroll down and it's green all of a sudden. So, okay. Wow, you know? Look, Elena in the chat, she wants a membership, you know? Look at the people, they're silent in the chat. It's crickets. And then they get gifted a membership. Oh, wow, I'm in the cult. Hello. Make the chat green again. Aaron G says, watching you in Kingston, Jamaica. Bomba clot. Appreciate you. Appreciate you, Aaron G. Pussy blood clot members, yes. Oh, she renewed it. Oh, I love that. Absolutely gorgeous. Look at this chat. Doesn't it feel good when it's green? Love it. Love it. Can't believe you've done this. And thumbs up the thing. If I hit refresh, there's 140 people watching. If I hit refresh, oh my God, you're all fired. 55 thumbs ups and 140 people watching? Oh, make it make sense. Oh, so you're waiting until I fall asleep so you can stab me in the back or slit my throat or stand over me with a lightsaber like Luke in The Last Jedi. Okay. Okay. Good. I'll make a note of that.
And eventually he does go off on him for swearing.
A lot is going on. You need to know, Vinny just got here. We're in Vegas. He went to, was it Dre's? Where were you? Were you at Dre's?
Yes.
Dragging Adam out of the club. Adam still hasn't slept. He's hammered. He smells like tequila.
Disgusting.
And vodka and a few other smells. We don't want to get into it.
But I got coffee. I got coffee. I'm okay.
But he got his coffee. He got everybody here working for him, getting him coffee, tea, napkins, back
Diva.
rub.
Total diva.
The
Needs
biggest
coffee.
diva that you got. Go to the back. All the people have been so nice to us, okay? Adam's put the entire crew to work. I'm so upset at Adam. They're so respectful to us. They're so nice to us. There's about 11 employees I met.
And of course, Adam.
You know it's bad. You know you're behaving shittily when the guy who runs the show, who is a literal multi-level marketing scam CEO, Patrick Bet-David, who has undoubtedly destroyed thousands of lives through the false promises of his multi-level marketing scheme, is telling you that you're being a diva and that you're mistreating people. You know? Craziness. I'm going to get called anti-Semitic for saying that about Adam because, you know, Adam, you know, he's on that type of timing. But don't worry, Adam. I'm Lebanese. I'm a Semite as well. I'm a Semitic person as well. So hopefully that covers me a little bit.
Adam's a total diva. I mean, this guy is just the worst. So also during this, they spend a lot of time talking about negative comments and handling criticism because they've been getting a lot of it recently because of their coverage of the Epstein files and the conflict in the Middle East.
Oh, okay. Let's see some of these comments. I want to see some of these, actually. Go back. Scroll back. Did you know you can scroll back frame by frame on YouTube? If you click the comma or period button, you can go one frame at a time. Like, look. Okay, let's see this comment. WTF, is it just me or has PBD podcast done a 180 on Israel, Diddy, Epstein, Maxwell? What the hell is going on? You guys been approached or something or what? I love that. And that's on their own video too. You gotta love it. The way Adam defends Diddy and the rest of the files. Oh, man.
The conflict.
It's funny how Adam says people care too much about other people's opinions, but then turns around and starts cursing and is upset because of someone's opinion on Israel. Make it make sense. Hey. As Bassem Youssef said, stop trying to Zionize me. That's exactly that type of behavior, you know? Rules for thee, but not for me. PBD, I think you're being pretty rude to Tom. If you have a problem with the length it takes for him to get to the point or his style of speaking, be a man and say it in private. You know what's so funny? You just know that the PBD podcast crew is one day, like, it's going to be like Vinny or Adam or Tom. One of them is going to come out one day and do like a tell-all book or like do their own podcast channel where they talk about why I had to leave the PBD podcast. And it's going to be a whole beef. It's going to be like, you know, it's going to be a whole thing. And I'm guessing it's going to be Adam. That's my thermometer tells me that Adam is going to be the one to, you know, betray the gang. Again, not because he's Jewish, you know.
Talking about the backlash that Nelk got from their Netanyahu podcast. So PBD tries to give them some advice on how to handle criticism, but I think he has like a stroke or something while he's talking about it.
If you all of a sudden get arrested by the comment section, welcome to miserable life. Because the mob then realizes, ooh, we got a hold of them. We scared them. We control you. Nope, you can't do that. We're going to send our audience and go in the comment section to bash PBD podcasts and comments because what Pat said about Muslims and all this, go in the comment section. You won't move us. Go and Nelk boys and scare the crap out of them. Don't let them move you. Your voice is important. You've done good work. And you're going to get better. It's just going to get better.
So then when Adam gives his thoughts on negative comments and the Nelk controversy, he begins by saying he doesn't really care about what other people think or have to say about him. But then he just starts having a meltdown over what other people are saying about him. It's hilarious. I mean, Vinny probably loves it. You know, finally Adam's the one flipping out and Vinny can laugh at him. So when Adam's having this meltdown, he says the F word a couple times. And apparently PBD has already privately told him multiple times he needs to stop saying that because kids watch the show. I don't know what kid is watching PBD, but I guess Patrick seriously thinks parents are having their kids watch his show. You know, I guess PBD is the new PBS. Like at one point, Patrick is talking about how coding is the new career path people should be choosing. And he's like, listen up, parents and kids. Kids, if you're watching this, 8 to 17 years old, pay attention to this story.
Parents, this is for you. Listen up. Share it with your kids. Kids, if you're listening, I want you to pay attention to the story. If you're 10 to 17 years old, even 8 to 17 years old, pay attention to the story.
They're not watching this, Patrick.
Go, Nelk boys.
And I think Patrick got the idea that he could get a younger audience because he said they're out to eat the night before and he saw some kids watching shows on iPads while their parents were getting hammered. And he probably thought, you know, if these kids are watching shows at dinner, they might as well be watching the PBD podcast. At least that's some educational content. You know, you can learn about the Epstein files and P. Diddy.
We're at dinner last night having sushi. The table right next to us. What did you see, Vinny? 3, 4 iPads, kids sitting there.
One kid had a freaking, like, he had an antenna, headphones, everybody's on, and the parents are just getting drunk.
Completely checked out. The kid might as well have been on Mars.
And this is the one story that Adam really wanted to talk about. Don't know why. Sex toy infiltrates second WNBA game.
Nice.
Fevers.
Yeah, so this show is just the best. Like you.
No, I'm not even going to say it. I'm not even going to say it. I'm going to get called anti-Semitic in the comments.
You think this is a parody? You know, PBD's all worried about swearing on his show because kids are watching, but also he starts talking about sex toys. And I think also PBD believes kids would find this podcast interesting because he said his kid was out to dinner with them last night and was fascinated by the conversation they're having. So he really seems to believe he can get a younger audience watching his show, but Adam's holding them back because he just can't stop saying the F word. I mean, it's so funny PBD gets all upset about that, but then when Adam's defending P. Diddy and saying he didn't really do anything wrong, he doesn't have much to say about it.
Okay, I'm actually not presently aware of how Patrick Bet-David has talked about Diddy, but like you guys have in the titles of your videos, Epstein, Maxwell, like you're talking about stuff that is not appropriate for kids to begin with. Like, how do you explain to a kid what human trafficking is or like what sex trafficking is or, you know, the Mossad? I mean, this is so remarkable about people in MLMs, including like the people who run them, Patrick, is like they've been so used to being in their own little echo chamber of yes men for so long. And with Patrick, that's twofold. It's with PHP, his MLM company, and it's with his podcast and his YouTube channel. Like everyone is below him, right? In his MLM, he's the boss. Everyone is below him licking his boots. Same thing with the podcast. You know, in the clip there at the very beginning when he's flipping out on Adam, Adam's like, sorry, sir. Calling him sir and shit, you know? So it's just such a delulu, you know, they live in their own fantasy unicorn la la land of whimsy, these people, where, especially Patrick, I'm not even going to say these people, but Patrick, that he thinks kids watch his show. I love it.
So at first you could tell Adam's trying his best to avoid saying the F word, but then he says shut the fuck up to the haters, and he looks at PBD and does like a double take because he probably got a look from him. So then after that he says shut the F up, but then he keeps getting more fired up about it, and eventually he's like, are you fucking kidding me? And PBD has to cut him off.
Most people are obsessed with other people's opinions. Most people are imprisoned by other people's thoughts and feelings. Most people are trying to keep up with the Joneses.
You know what's funny is you guys watching this and commenting, that's your reaction to me reacting to this video of Too Lazy to Try, reacting to Patrick and Co, reacting to the news. So it's reactception right now.
free yourself from the prison of what other people think. I've learned this the hard way. The hardest thing to do is not give a flip about what other people have to say. Let's put these things in.
The Vault Conference. Look at the ad for the Vault Conference on the bottom left. Patrick Bet David, Tony Robbins, Martha Stewart, and David Falk. Falk out of here.
Order. Number 1, keyboard warriors. Adam, you suck. Don't. At this point,
but some of them are right
about
doesn't
matter.
No,
doesn't matter to me.
Just shitting on him. Like, are these guys even friends? Actually, are these guys actually even friends outside of this? There's no chance. Then again, when you're Patrick Bet David, and it seems that you have a pattern of just using people, using relationships to advance your own wealth or agenda, what is a friend? What is a friend in the mind of Patrick Bet David? I don't think Patrick Bet David has people that he would consider friends who aren't doing something for him or who he doesn't think could do something for him in the future.
Yep. Number 2, see how many friends I have? Friends that go, I can't believe you voted for Trump. I can't believe you would sit down with Nick Fuentes. I can't believe that you would associate with Andrew Tate. I can't believe that you would talk to Candace Owens. Oh yeah? Shut the fuck up. This is what we do.
Yes, Adam. All right, Adam. I literally feel like Adam is like a little kid that I'm babysitting. And I don't even know the guy, but it's like through the internet. Every time I watch him, I'm like, okay, Adam, you can play Nintendo for 10 more minutes. Like, just just be quiet. Adam, nobody cares. Nobody is losing sleep over what Adam, whatever his last name is, says or thinks. And he's acting like so, so like such righteous indignation here. People are getting mad because I did. First of all, it's not even your show. Number 1, right? You're the sidekick on this show. Number 2, nobody cares. But he's getting so riled up about it as though he's like this brave arbiter of truth-telling. People hate me because I'm telling the truth. No. I mean, it's great that you talk to people with like, not mainstream opinions, but like you then can't be mad when people are like having a reaction to it. Like obviously you're going for, isn't that the whole point of you interviewing those controversial people in the begin with, to get reactionary engagement? Duh. Maybe this is just part of the long game. Maybe he's playing 4D chess right now where he's just acting like he's upset about it to spur even more comments from the people who would normally comment negatively. I don't know. Oh my God. Insane, Tretino. Insane comment. I can't even read that out loud.
We talk to people. We hear the truth. The last thing that's liberating is your closest friends and family. There's friends and family in my life. Why do you do this? Why do you travel? Why do you have to go this? Why do you do this? You could also shut the F up, because this is what we do. Thank God, I'm going to give PBD a shout out, that we have a leader with a backbone who does, don't apologize.
Dude. If I'm this age, whatever age he is, 40 something, if I get to this age and I'm kissing the ass of another grown man like this in private or on a podcast, God forbid, it's public, just put me down right there. Just shoot me right there. Grow up, Adam. Grow up.
We had a situation recently where Adam, they want you to apologize. No, you don't have to. This is what we do. When you have conviction and you stand for something, you don't have to go anywhere. As far as what the Nelk boys did, I think they're great. I think Kyle's a nice dude. They should have done better. To read a comment and say, wow, we interviewed Bibi Netanyahu, the modern day Hitler. Oh, okay, that's fair. Really, bro? Is that actuality the reality? Bibi Netanyahu is the modern day Hitler? Modern day Hitler? Are you freaking kidding me? And to the whole camp that goes, well, you can't criticize Israel. What's the one country you can't criticize? Are you fucking kidding me?
Adam, at this point, bro.
Sorry.
This is the third time, man. It's like, we had dinner last night talking about
this. This upsets me because I hear.
I understand.
No. Because all I hear is that you can't criticize Israel, and all I hear are "F you,
I don't care.
Jew,
no.
kill yourself."
These are two separate things.
I'm sorry. I'm fired up here.
Immediately playing the victim card as a means of like explaining away or justifying the thing that he's been asked by his superior not to do. I'm not gonna say that he's fulfilling a stereotype by doing that, but some might say that. Some anti-Semitic people might say that.
But when half the world hates you, deal with it and get tough. Because the whole notion that Israel can't be criticized, the whole notion that PBD Netanyahu can't be criticized, that's all they do.
And then Vinny starts going off about Israel, and PBD starts getting more uncomfortable.
These guys cannot even get on the same page with each other about like, so what do we think? Hey, Adam. So, okay. I love the guy on TikTok who's like, does the PBD impression. He's like, I'm a numbers guy. Okay. They want to talk about Israel. No problem. You've got 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 20, 50 people just yapping. Vinny starts criticizing Israel and Netanyahu. Then PBD quickly jumps in to cut him off. It's becoming obvious these guys are bought and paid for at this point. Adam always tells Vinny to chill for crashing out about the issues with our country. Then Adam crashes out anytime someone says Israel is a bad act. Hey. Rules for thee and not for me. Enough anti-Semitism. I don't want to hear it anymore.
Because, he's a rich businessman in South Florida. I'm sure he knows a lot of Jews. So he has to cut Vinny off and be like, dude, Netanyahu is not like Hitler. What are we talking about here? But Vinny wasn't even saying that. So this podcast was a mess. And PBD starts talking about the dinner they had last night. And he goes off on Adam about how he just told him he needs to stop dropping the F-bombs because kids are watching.
Jews and they don't want to kill Jews. Let's just shoot them. That's the problem. It's not that if you can't criticize without being labeled and sticking up for the children and the innocent people, bro, that's the disconnect. It's not all Jews.
Vinny, just so you know, you're right and he's right.
Yes.
But it's not Hitler.
Oh, no, I'm not agreeing to that.
What are we talking about?
No, I'm not agreeing to that.
What are we? I want to make sure you qualify that.
Oh, yeah.
What a web of madness. They're arguing the same points that they've undoubtedly been arguing since, October 7th, 2023. For 2 years now, they've been having the same nonsensical, like surface level debate, about it. And not only is that nonsense, but on top of the nonsense, the cherry on the cake is Patrick is saying, don't say the F word while we're talking about this. I mean, okay, Patrick, you're talking the topic of conversation. When the topic of conversation is Jeffrey Epstein or like war, genocide, children dying, is your concern really swear words? Like, let's actually consider the harmful effects of the subject matter. What's more harmful? A video about gardening where the person doing the gardening video says the F word, or a video about children dying where nobody says the F word? I would argue that the subject matter that's more sensitive is actually the more potentially harmful or dangerous discussion than actually just the bad words. Kids aren't hearing bad words and being like, and like dying and like getting hurt by them. And it's not like every time a kid hears the F word, they're like, it's they're going to hear worse things in their life. And as somebody who was a kid once myself, there was literally never a time in my life when I heard a bad word and I was like, I always thought bad words were funny. I remember being in grade 1 with my friends. Grade 1 being like, fuck. Now what? It's okay.
We're not talking about Hitler.
Absolutely not.
We are talking about
just
somebody who is a true believer in his cause. His name is BB, and it's not your cause.
Yes.
And you can disagree with them.
Yes.
But to all of a sudden have that category as here,
that's
that's what's going on.
That's a horrible comparison.
And by the way, over here, last night, my son, we go to, I don't want to say where we had dinner. So last night we have dinner. How cool was that conversation at dinner?
Fantastic. Amazing.
It was like, and Tico is standing just going like this and watching Tom. And by the way, listening to Tom at these types of dinners, I'm telling you, you get so much smarter just listening to Tom with his experience of faith, and then Adam and Tom talking about, what it is to be a Jew and Christianity, and then you jumping in there and just back and forth, all of us. It was such a great dinner. That's a regular thing for us. The reason I'm getting upset at Adam is I'm asking specifically, stop dropping F-bombs. I've asked him so many times.
Okay. On a show where somebody has the propensity to get mad if you say, I wish Israel would stop dropping real bombs, Patrick's concern is dropping F-bombs. Got it.
I don't like it.
My bad, sir.
Because when I do other things, guest says it, guest says it. Kids are watching us. People want to put their kids in front of this. I'm not a fan of that. I've told you this hundreds of times privately. Now you're forcing me to say it to you publicly.
That's fair. That's fair.
Don't do that to me after I just had a conversation with you.
You're absolutely right.
All right. So,
and I'll say one thing.
Yeah.
I apologize.
I know
I tried to say flip a few times.
But guess what?
And I apologize.
You gotta control, because the targeting's not going to change.
True that.
Yeah, I'm at a place right now where my position is very simple. Yes, and you know what's one of the conversations we had about Christians, Jews, and Muslims?
Nobody cares. So it's okay for the guest to say it? Okay, either it's a clean, family-friendly show or it's not. I don't even think it's fair to tell Adam, don't say it, but the guest can say it. I don't even think that's fair. I don't even think that's a fair standard. See, I'm throwing Adam a bone now, you know? So I would love to go on this show. I would love to go on this show, and it's not for any, like, clout reason. I just got invited the other day to be on a huge fucking podcast. A huge, like... Huge people have been on this podcast. Let me pull up some of the names who have been on this podcast before I tell you what it is. Maybe I'll tell you some of these names and you can figure it out on your own if I tell you some of these names, okay? Let me tell you some of the names who have been on this podcast. Charleston White, Vitaly, Andrew Tate, dude, Howie Mandel. So many fucking people have been on this podcast. People that I like and people that I don't like as well, by the way. Like Grant Cardone has been on it. Ty Lopez has been on this. Like, I'm chilling. I'm super chilling. But a lot of famous people have been on this fucking podcast. So, yeah. I just got invited to be on a big podcast. So anyways, I'm not saying that for like no reason. I'm saying that because I don't need to go on Patrick Bet-David podcast to get more followers. Not that I think any of Patrick Bet-David's followers would follow me anyways, because I think Patrick is a piece of shit. But just to like soak it in, you know? Just to immerse myself in the nonsense and listen to it. Because I have to imagine that there's a similar phenomenon that goes on. I would have to imagine that if I was a guest on the PBD podcast, it's a similar thing as like when I talk to a person who's in an MLM on one of my debates versus when you just watch them spewing their nonsense to a captive audience who it's like a one-way thing, you know? These people can get away with their rags to riches stories and their nonsense babblings and ramblings and false equivalences when it's just them with the microphone and everyone else is just sitting there and nobody's like asking them questions or pushing back. And then these people get into a debate with me willingly, and it's just, now I have to ask them a hard question like, do you ever see any end to the point of recruiting? Like, or I'll ask them like, don't you see how it could potentially be harmful to your business if your goal is to sell products, if you're just constantly recruiting new people who are going to also be your own competitor? Even a simple question like that, a simple common sense question like that, you know? So I would have to imagine that it's the same thing if I go on PBD, like when they're all just rambling at each other, you know, or to the audience. I would love to be there and like actually ask Patrick some of the same questions because, by the way, if you've watched any of my debates, if you've watched one of my debates, okay, think about that in your mind. Now go watch the coffeezilla debate with Patrick Bet-David where he was asking him about MLM and how most people lose money and how his company's an MLM. This guy it's a world-class performance on Yap and evading questions. Oh, when I was in the military, I was in the military, and then I was working at Bally's, and then I went to blah, blah, blah. I went to, what's the finance company he always talks about working for? You know, Goldman Sachs or something like that. I forget the one. When I JP Morgan Chase, I feel like I have a soundbite in my head of Patrick saying the words JP Morgan Chase. If there was a PBD action figure, you know, and it had like a string that you pull, and it says like a few of his catchphrases, it would be like, pull that up. Okay, that's another one. It would be like, no problem. What else? JP Morgan Chase, Bally's, when I was in the military, did you know I'm a Syrian and I lived in Iran, and the Shah, Just the words the Shah or the Shah of Iran. Wow. Can't believe you've done this.
How long does it take to become a Muslim?
So tensions are high at the PBD podcast. You know, things are getting interesting. It seems like they're all on the verge of losing it on each other. But let me know what you guys think. And I just posted a new video to Patreon about the end of the Stern Show. I also have a downfall of the Stern Show.
My Patreon is frozen. So actually, I'm going to say this, and I've never said this before in the 6 years of being on YouTube. Don't join my Patreon, actually. Don't join my Patreon. We got some shit we need to figure out, but it's been frozen. Lawsuits suck. But we'll figure it out. I always win. I never lose. Good prevails over evil, and blah, 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 blah. So we'll figure it out. It's crazy. All right, let me see. I'm reading your guys' comments. Thumbs up the ting, of course. Thumbs up the ting.
Thumbs up the ting.
Oh, I have to pull this up before I forget. Somebody who was in the chat the other day, I forget who it was, but if their name popped up, I would know it. I would remember. Do you know? Okay, hold on. Do you know why I had to punish you? Okay, So somebody it was Amanda. What was her name? Amanda Del something commented in the chat last week when we were listening to Scott and Peter on Building Fortunes Radio talk about me. And she said, Scott and Peter are the meme where it's like two dumb bitches in a room saying, exactly. And she said, that's Scott and Peter. This audio is also Scott and Peter right here. This one I'm going to play right now.
Do you understand why I had to punish you earlier? Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, why'd I have to punish you?
Because I bit you.
Because you bit me?
Yeah.
Why'd you do that? Yeah?
Yeah.
Are you hungry from your big day?
Oh my God. Sorry, it's so uncomfortable. Or it's like when you see that one weird couple in the hall at school, or like the furry couple at the anime convention, or something like that, you know. But definitely Scott and Peter, you know. I'm just trying to figure out in my mind which one is Scott and which one is Peter betwixt those two, you know. Oh, David guesses that Lex Friedman. No, I actually sent an email, or however they do it, to Lex Friedman a year ago, asking to be on the show, and they never responded. I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna ask any podcast to go on. I'm just gonna keep doing my thing, and I know that if I get big enough, they'll ask me. And so yeah, I got a DM literally the other morning from this big podcast, and they just said podcast ? And I said, yeah, and we set it up. So yeah. I have a feeling that tonight is the stream where everybody's just going to collectively lose their mind. Actually, not lose their minds. The opposite. Everyone's going to collectively come to their senses and go, I need to pay goon tax. I need to back up the Brinks truck to the Emperor's compound. I need to channel my inner John Smith.
Yeah, John Smith, you know, blah, 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 check mark.
And drop the bag.
I got to get the bag.
And I have a feeling tonight's stream, where the dono goal says $999 for lawyer fees, I have a feeling we're going to blow it out of the water. And it's just going to be, I have a feeling we're going to make $5,000 tonight on stream. Honestly. I have a feeling. I have a feeling. I have a dream. I have a dream that goons from all over the world, black, white, straight, gay, man, woman, child, and adult, are going to unify and join together to say, hey, they're trying to kill him. They're trying to take his Patreon away. They've successfully frozen his Patreon funds. And they're trying to basically unperson him off the internet. They, we need to help our king. We need to help our emperor fight. It's a dire situation. And I feel like we're all just gonna, you know, I have to make light of it. I have to be sarcastic about it. Otherwise, I'll just get stressed and anxious about it. But yeah. On a serious note, it do be like that. It is. I do actually need help. I do actually need help, you know? Let's see. Okay, so yeah, once again, if you're in Edmonton, hit me up about this. Fuck, I should check my message requests on Instagram too, hey, because I feel like maybe somebody messaged me there. Honestly, if it's really important, I feel like if it's really important, you'll email me, you know? I'm reading. You know, when I was younger and nobody cared about me or what I was doing, I would check my phone after hours and there would be no notifications and it would still be dry. And now every time I check my phone, I have notifications and it just overwhelms me. Every time I check my phone, I have notifications and I just don't, you know, a lot of time I just ignore them. I mean, most of them aren't important, you know, most of them are actually Instagram notifications from my friends sending stupid brain rot memes that at the most I just reply an emoji to, you know, but yeah. Devin says the yeah is definitely Scott. I love it. I should code a Patreon competitor. That'd be cool. Hit the like button. Yes, so true. Did this man just say betwixt? You better learn some. Let me read your comments. How am I supposed to have money when I'm a slave in the commune? You're not a slave. You're an independent business owner. Reach Ossington, Crody? Hell no. Maybe Kid Rock watches that in the middle of a whiskey binge. Beware the Lily of the Valley finally got a membership. We love to see it. Burger Baron says, any notifications from beautiful gals? Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes. You know, honestly, I thought there would be way more gal hitting me up as a YouTuber with 100 and whatever. 100 almost, I'm like 50 subscribers away from 113K. 100, I'm 46 subscribers away. For a YouTuber with over 100,000, let me look up a picture of what 100,000 people looks like. If that even is a thing. 100,000 people. Okay, Google tells me this is what 100,000 people looks like. Let's say this is 100,000 people. You're telling me there's not at least a few bad gal in there? Oh, dude, I had one girl hit me up a few months. No, not even a few months ago. Back in like February when I was in Vietnam. Beautiful girl who came out of nowhere who I didn't even know was following me. Like, bro, there are stretches of time where, like, if it's a really crazy month or week or whatever where I'm getting a lot of followers, I eventually just stop checking. Like, I don't check every profile that follows me, you know, because there's just so many notifications. So there are people who have, like, followed me without me noticing, and I guess some of them are bad gals. So this girl messages me back in February. Beautiful, beautiful girl. And immediately the vibes are up. What's your Snapchat? Do. She asking me. So she's like, yeah, if you ever have plans to come to Texas, link up. I'm thinking, who do I know in Texas? Coffeezilla lives in Texas. I know a couple people that I could make some things happen, film some interesting content, and like make it an actual productive trip as well. And I would also have somebody there who I know who also happens to be a beautiful girl who's trying to see Wagwan. So I was like, okay, maybe in the summer. So boom, fast forward, it's summer. I'm back in Canada right now. I'm like, this gal hits me up in like June. Bro, I was like, yeah, let's link up soon. She's like, okay. Explain to me how, like a few weeks later, Critter, welcome back to where you belong. Explain to me how a few weeks later, this girl hard launches her boyfriend on Instagram. Posts a pic of them booed up. I'm thinking like, how do you in your heart, in your soul, go from messaging me, yo, pull up for the sneaky link, hookup, whatever, and then you launch your, and this has happened to me a few times where I'm like talking to a girl, making plans, or like I'm actively seeing a girl, and then I just haven't talked to her for like a couple weeks, and boom, she has a boyfriend, which means that you were talking to and potentially dating those dudes at the same time. Like, for sure you were. What do you mean, potentially? For sure you were. I guess I'm just naive. I'm a halal guy, you know. I'm on a one thing at a time type thing. Okay? So, I wouldn't say I was heartbroken. I wasn't hurt by it, but I was like the meme of that one guy who's like, "What are you talking about?" You know? I definitely thought there would be, I mean, it's not like no beautiful gal have ever reached out to me or ever reach out to me, but I just thought it would be more for sure, you know. So it is what it is. What else? Hold on, I have more notes. Oh yeah, oh, this is good. Okay, so I did a stream when I'm pulling it up on Pardon Me channel. Okay, dude, 2 years ago. There's no way this was 2 fucking years ago. I did a stream 2 years ago called Meet Ash Mufareh, okay? And I got to shout out the recovering Hunbot, Alonda, for this. Okay, so this is about the SEC, Securities and Exchange Commission, sues alleged perpetrators of fraudulent multi-level marketing scheme and unregistered offering. And that's this guy, Ash Mufareh, right? Shout out to Alonda. She's been covering this, like, mercilessly since, I mean, I don't even know for how long. Just recently, this came out that after this lawsuit, they've come to a settlement. All right, let's look at this article. Here we go. Can you raise $100 million from AI investors with no product? SEC says yes. I mean, it just kills me that so many people get taken for a ride like this. Okay. A Florida man is in hot water for allegedly raising $108 million from more than 800,000 investors for what he claimed was an AI development company, but which the SEC charges with fraudulent unregistered securities offering. In the complaint, the SEC claims that Ash Mufareh and his company OnPassive put together a fraudulent pyramid scheme. What? Shocked Pikachu face. It says Mufareh had first claimed to be developing a suite of computer applications using AI in 2018, saying the apps would seamlessly interface with one another in an ecosystem. Just nothing, empty, nothing words. By the way, that's 7 years ago, you know? Similar to applications offered by established, well-known multinationals. The agency alleges he pitched potential investors on the opportunity to buy a position in a multi-level marketing pyramid structure created by Mufareh himself for $97. For that price, investors bought themselves a locked-in position before any launch of the purported product and before others began buying into the scheme in the future. It claimed investors who took him up on the early bird special called Founders were promised a higher placement in the pyramid and higher returns than later investors waiting to buy into the scheme. Sorry, I lost my spot. By making a product purchase and commencing payment of a monthly subscription after product launch. The idea was, the SEC alleges, that earlier birds would receive a portion. Okay, so it's just a pyramid scheme. They've just literally just described a pyramid scheme. Okay, what's the settlement? Get to the settlement. Settle. Here we go. Settle. That's not it. Go back. Go back. OnPassive settlement. Oh, OnPassive. Here we go. Let me find it. Okay, here. This is the one. Maria Nikolova. How much money? Okay. The final judgment also imposed on Mufareh an officer and director bar for a period of 8 years, so he can't be an officer or director of, I don't know, some kind of company, and to pay a civil penalty of $4 million, and ordered OnPassive LLC to pay disgorgement of $26 million. Fuck, 30 mil? No, it's more than that. $26,220,000 plus prejudgment interest of $1.2 million. What prejudgment interest? Okay, and a civil penalty of $4 million. Okay, so I guess that's prejudgment interest. I'm guessing means interest charged that goes back to the date that they charged him to the day that he was like actually, I don't know, they came to the agreement or whatever. filed the complaint November 2023, so almost 2 years ago, alleged that he raised over $100 million. So let's do some quick math, because you know I'm not a math guy. If you raise $108 million, here we go. Real estate consultant raising $108 million for the cult right now. You love to see it. Thank you, real estate consultant. Let's see how many people got him. Chad Mack, Walt Turner, Sean McNeil, Kendra K, and Smurgy. You love to see it. Make the chat green. Who's going to be for the first Streamlabs bag? That's what we want to know. Just go in and somebody just take your credit card, go to the Streamlabs, drop $1,000, and then cut the credit card in half. I'm saving you money long term. Okay. Where's the continue reading? Okay. So let's do some quick math. 108 million. I'm going to type that on my calculator. 108, 108 million. Okay. Minus 4 million. Minus 26,220,364. Minus prejudgment interest of 121,858. Minus 4 million. Okay. You still have 72.5 million, baby. So okay. So if you scam people out of $108 million because you lied, like there's not even any dispute about it from the SEC. They say it was a pyramid scheme. It was a fraud, right? Okay. By falsely, meaning you lied. There was not even an AI thing, right? It was just made up. You made it up. By falsely claiming, among other things, to be developing a suite of online computer applications that used AI. According to the complaint, the defendant sold investor positions in a multi-level marketing arrangement. Yeah, okay. The defendant had not yet launched any product for a fee and had not made a single commission. So? You took people's money with no intention to pay them back. Or, like, what is his defense? It's actually kind of interesting to think about from a legal perspective. Like, is his defense that he was working on it and he just wasn't able to deliver because of some other reason? I wonder if that mitigated the amount that he actually had to pay out. Maybe I should talk to Alonda about that. Perhaps she would know better than I. But very interesting to think about. But I mean, the bottom line is you scammed, you received 108 million. Let me pull up that calculator history. You received 108 million. You have an 8-year ban on being an officer or director of whatever MLM company or whatever. Maybe it's any company. I don't know. I didn't read the thing. But after all the fines, there's no jail time. Let me go back to that page. Let me see. Is there anything about jail time there? Prison, no jail. The words prison and jail do not appear in this article. Okay, so you don't go to jail. You don't go to prison. You have an 8-year ban on running a company, but you have $72 million. Let's say you spent half of that money on, I don't know, what could you... Bro, look at this operation. The guy's operation was basically a slideshow where he was promising people different things that could, like, it was like demos. Look, Mans is doing, where's the fucking, I swear he was literally just live. Global address, State of the Union 9 days ago, featuring Mr. Mufareh. And the channel is called The Future is Clear, Chris Johnson. You know, he's still like out here doing Zoom calls and stuff. From what I saw, and in that stream we did 2 years ago, it was just like Zoom calls of him being like, just like hyping people up. Guys, it's going to be amazing. Guys, we're going to have this, we're going to have that. It's tech, it's AI, it's the future, blah, blah, blah. So if you do that, and that's all it takes, you know, again, let's say he spent half of the money that he brought in, and you factor in the fines. That's still what, 36 million? Oh no, I can't run a company for 8 years. Oh no, what am I going to do with my $36 million? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you right now. The Streamlabs link is in the chat. The merch link is in the chat. Use the code GOONS for a discount. If I had 36, here we go. Jess
just dropped a bag 34 Canadian dollars and 60 cents. Happy Goonversary.
Jess, thank you so much. My only note is that you add 5 more zeros onto that donation. Because if I had $36 million, Jess just donated $34. Why not $34 million? Come on, between all of us. What was Ash Mufareh selling it for? $97, and he got how many people to do it? 800,000 people? What is the math? 800,000 times $100, we'll call it. It's 80 mil, baby. Okay, so listen, if I had $36 million, I would erase any memory you had of me. That is how gone off the grid I would be. I would be so off the grid, you would be gaslit by the internet just trying to search up my name. Everything would be wiped. Scott Johnson and Peter wouldn't talk about me anymore. None of their alwaysmarco.gay and whatever would be there. My videos would be gone. It's a wrap. 36 mil. I'm playing. I feel like I would actually still be making videos and shit. I'd be doing like travel vlogs and just like side quests and stuff. All the comments would be like, this dude made it. He just doing side quests right now. He beat the campaign. And all my videos would get like 300 views. But what I want to know is what actually stops somebody from scamming? What actually stops somebody from scamming, or what's there to like mitigate or deter someone from scamming? Actually, let's see what ChatGPT has to say about this. Let's bring in our expert. ChatGPT. Okay. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to actually PDF. I'm going to actually go to the not the article written summary of the lawsuit. I'm going to actually send ChatGPT the link to the PDF of the full complaint from the SEC. Here it is. Securities and Exchange Commission plaintiff versus Ash Mufareh and OnPassive. Okay. If I search the word scam. Okay. Review site posted. There's inherently nothing of particular interest with OnPassive. It's literally nothing more than a pyramid scheme launched by a serial scammer. Okay. OnPassive is a scam. And it's scam-free. Okay. Pyramid. The word pyramid appears 48 times in the complaint. What about the word Ponzi? Okay. Scheme appears 28. Okay. Penalty. Here we go. Civil money penalties. Here we go. August 11, 2023. Okay. So let me actually go to the other one. I think was a more thorough article because that one's from 2023. This one is from 2025. Okay, here we go. ChatGPT, have a way. I'm going to ask ChatGPT here. Okay, what are you working on? Okay, this article discusses a pyramid scheme that has come to an agreement with the SEC after being sued by them. Given the money brought in by the scam and the amount they must pay out for, what's the word I'm looking for? Restitution, etc. How much money is left over that not even how much money is left over. Why? I don't know. I'm trying to understand why the SEC wouldn't say take all the money, right? If you brought in $108 million, why does the SEC complaint say, like, why do they only want $26 million back? Given the money brought in by the scam and the amount the scammers must pay out for restitution, aren't they still left with a lot of money received, money which translates to ill-gotten gains? Why does the SEC not try to go after all of the money that was raised fraudulently? Let's ask. Tell us something, ChatGPT. You're right to be pondering. Can we get them to read this out? Say it. Okay. Holy fuck, they wrote long reply. Okay, total funds. Okay, so they got $108 million from 800,000 investors. So if you go 108 million divided by 800,000, it works out to $135 per person, or 99 Canadian dollars, 97 Canadian dollars. Disgorgement. They want 26 million. Look, they're seeing it here. The remaining balance, that still leaves over 72 million of funds that were raised but not recovered. So why? Disgorgement is designed to recover ill-gotten gains, essentially the profits, not necessarily the entire sum. But what was the, yeah, but there was no cost. Like, it's not like there was, how do I say this? Every dollar was profit, no? What was the money going towards? It was all made up. It was a fake. There was no AI. I'm just trying to understand. SEC filings note that Mufareh and his wife personally misappropriated funds, for instance, transferring money to the relief defendant and possibly converting funds to crypto. Okay, so maybe they couldn't get them, like crypto, jewelry, food. Yeah, but you didn't spend $70 million on steak and lobster. There's no way. Not all investor money remains accessible. Some may have been spent, transferred, concealed, or dissipated. The SEC can only disgorge what's traceable. Really? The SEC often negotiates settlements to be enforceable and timely. Pushing for full recovery of all raised funds might require prolonged litigation, asset tracing, cross-border enforcement. I mean, what, can they not put the guy in jail? Settlements often represent a pragmatic compromise, not absolute justice, but measurable and enforceable recovery. I would be pissed if I was a victim in this. Role of victim restitution. Okay, let's see. Jules, yes.
Jules just dropped a bag, 34 Canadian dollars and 60
Oh, wow,
cents.
so true.
It's not a rack, but it's an investment towards your Sparkles financial freedom. Sparkles from Legal Fees Law.
Jules, thank you so much. I appreciate that. That means a lot. For real. No, that is a lot, though. For real. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Okay, let's see. SEC typically proposes a distribution plan to return money to harmed investors. While this helps, the amount available for restitution depends on how much was actually disgorged. Yeah, recovering 35 million against 108 million raised is far from full restitution. That suggests tens of millions of dollars remain unrecovered as ill-gotten gains. I mean, how do we know that Ash Mufareh over the last 7 years wasn't periodically taking out large sums of cash and burying it somewhere in a box? And now that the case is over, he goes and digs up the money as he needs it. Like, you know? Damn. Okay, so basically you can just scam people, I guess. Let me ask another question to ChatGPT. Does the one of my recent searches I'm fucking retarded. One of my recent searches on ChatGPT is what happened to the city of Duloc after Lord Farquaad died. Okay, does the SEC have the power to bring criminal charges or put someone in prison? No. So unless the Department of Justice does something about a pyramid scheme, it's never going to happen. It's a civil regulatory agency. They can sue for injunctions, disgorgement, and penalties, freeze assets, suspend trading. Damn. So, okay, I guess. See, with Bernie Madoff, the SEC sued him civilly for securities fraud, but the DOJ prosecuted him criminally. So I guess the SEC can write like a reference or you know, a letter suggesting that the DOJ should do something. That makes sense to me. But even then, he probably stayed at the most luxurious prison imaginable, you know? Damn. So, okay, there you have it. I guess you're allowed to do crime. You're allowed to do financial crime anyways. You're allowed to do pyramid schemes and Ponzi schemes. As long as you have the money to, as long as you just like set some of the money aside, you know, after taxes. And I mean, who, let's be real. Are they paying taxes? But after the disgorgement of funds from scamming, you're still chilling, right? Like Ash Mufareh is probably still rich, you know? What's going to happen now? That's crazy. I really don't like that. I don't like that at all. This is why I say that in an alternate dimension where I actually have like a conscience, in an alternate dimension, I have no conscience. The world would be embers because I would be the most ruthless villain that one could imagine, you know? But I would feel bad. That's the problem. I would feel bad. You know, that pesky conscience of mine getting in the way. If only I didn't feel bad. If only I wouldn't feel bad for scam. If only I didn't think it was the wrong thing to do. Ugh. How annoying, you know? Then we could get away with it. As coffeezilla always says, crime is legal. And yeah, if you're a psychopath who just doesn't give a fuck about people. And you know what's crazy is that even despite the SEC lawsuit, like I remember when I did the Ash Mufareh stream 2 years ago, he was there like addressing the complaint by the SEC and still doubling down and telling people on the Zoom call like, yeah, what we're doing is totally good and legal and blah, blah, blah. And his people were still like riding with him. They were like, yeah, we got that. We're going to beat them. They always try to, you know, the powerful system always tries to shut down the people telling the truth. It's like, oh my God. What the fuck? It's just crazy. It's just crazy that people would be scammed and then still like, you know, ride for him and like want to support him or whatever. That's just fucking, I can't believe you've done this. Today was pull day at the gym. Could you fucking tell? Hello. Me in court, just like wearing the tightest shirt possible. So fucking unserious. Literally multiple multi-billion-dollar companies are suing me actively right now. What an unprecedented point. What an unprecedented circumstance in history, in the history of pyramid schemes and MLM and whatever, that an individual creator, journalist, whatever you want to call me, is being sued like in tandem by multiple evil entities that are working in cahoots with each other to try to destroy me and, you know, get my Patreon and whatever. I mean, I don't know. What's going to happen? The fact that, it's crazy. Like, I would actually almost be like better off doing crime. Right now, what I'm trying to do is like deter criminals by making videos about them and deter people getting scammed and like, you know, incentivize the outlawing of multi-level marketing scams. Unfortunately, we're still at a point where you can be Ash Mufareh and scam over $100 million out of people and still walk away with a big chunk of change. But how funny is that, you know? I have a feeling, like I was talking to a friend of mine last night who's a lawyer. And every time we meet up, we always end up talking about my cases and whatever. And he was like, yeah, so like what's the like long-term plan with it if they're trying to come after you for this and that and whatever. And I just told him, I was like, I feel like it's going to get to a point where after years of me doubling down on my mission and like not folding and like winning lawsuits, it's just going to get to a point where it's not even an issue anymore because I've reached like escape velocity. You know what I mean? Like you only need to make it once. And I feel like once I make it, I wouldn't say I've even made it yet. Once I make it, I feel like if I'm at a point where I'm making enough money that it's like, oh, okay, another lawsuit. Like, you know what I'm saying? That's what I'm envisioning. That it'll get to a point where hopefully either my channel is so big or I'm making so much money some way or another where it's like from drug dealing, of course, as Scott and Peter would say, that's how I make my money. That it'll just be like it won't even be like something that causes me any stress. It'll be like, oh, okay, like it'll just be a normal expense like my rent and my groceries. Like, okay, lawyer, another $5,000 for the lawyer this month. You know, unfortunately, we're not there yet, but I do believe in what I'm doing, and I do feel like this goes one of two ways. Either I stop in my tracks because I'm fearful of what's going to happen, or I keep going, and yeah, there's going to be periods where I have to like take on credit card debt to the tune of many thousands of dollars in order to just like rectify the issues in the meantime and like pay legal fees and go to court and spend years of my life like in these slow, like you wouldn't believe how slow the civil court process is. Like, for example, and I know this is people who have this has happened to. One learning experience about the civil court system, and I don't know if it's like this everywhere, but okay, bear with me. If a judge who is familiar with your case assigns himself to it or seizes himself of the matter, meaning that that's the judge who you're going to be dealing with henceforth, because for a new judge to come in, there would be way too much background that they'd have to familiarize themselves with. So if the judge in your case is unavailable for whatever reason, holiday, sickness, you know, maybe they have other cases that are higher priority, like maybe they're doing double duty where the judge is presiding over civil matters but also criminal matters. Obviously, in those cases, a murder case is going to take priority over a civil dispute, right? Whatever the reason is, if the judge is unavailable, it doesn't matter for how long. It could be months. It could be a year that you don't hear back. And you can't do anything about it. Because the one avenue of recourse that you have is going to like the chief justice, who's like the judge of all the judges, right? That's like the boss. But you can see why you wouldn't want to do that. Because if you write to the chief justice and say, hey, one of your judges who's on our case, who's like assigned himself to our case, isn't responding as quick as we'd like, and then the chief justice like, you know, relays that back to the judge, do you think that that's going to make your judge happy? Do you think your judge is going to appreciate that you went over his head to like go to his boss to complain about him being slow? Fuck no. So you just have to wait. And you know what? I'm cool. I'm not even saying this is like a negative thing. I get it. It was just a learning experience. It was just something that I was interested by because, you know, when you watch movies and stuff as a kid, you think that like you think things happen like that, you know? Like someone is in handcuffs, the next scene they're in court, the next scene the judge bangs his gavel, the next scene they're in jail. When really these things take years, you know? So yeah, it's really an interesting. It's really interesting. But anyways, the point I was making before I went on that tangent, I feel like once I go through these battles and I go through the pain and difficulty of like the court bullshit, you know, trying to raise money for legal fees, taking on debt, not being in a financially like stable situation because of the, you know, I'll make some money and I'm debt free and I'm like feeling good about myself and I'm like, finally, I'm being an adult the right way and I'm like, I'm getting my shit done, and then boom, lawsuit. Okay, there goes $10,000. I feel like there will come a point where it just doesn't, where I've made it through that, or at least when I've become a person on the other side of that who it's still happening, but I'm like, I don't know, I'm just bigger, I'm making more, and it's just like, okay, this is just one of the costs. People ask me all the time, even especially relatives, you know, why don't you just do something? Why don't you just get a normal job? Why don't you just talk about something else? You know, I get it, and I know they're saying it from a place of concern, and it comes from a good place, and I do appreciate that, and I can recognize that. At the same time, they're discounting. Wow, Sam here. Thank you, bro.
Sam here just dropped a bag, 40 Canadian dollars. You ain't alone in this battle. Keep on fighting.
I gotta get the bag.
Man, that means so much, you know. That's one reason right there. When my relatives ask me, why don't you do something else? Because there's people out there who support me and who are also counting on me because they have families or they have careers where they can't risk it because it would uproot their entire life. I've made this my life. This is my path. This is my like mission, right? And also, it's not all bad. Like my relatives who see me going through this stress and they put themselves in my shoes and they imagine what a lawsuit would do to them, or multiple lawsuits, God forbid, or people following them, or the harass. But you know what? It's like, that's also, I was talking to a relative of mine yesterday who's telling me like he makes over 6 figures at his job and he's trying to get a new position within his company that's going to pay him over $200,000 a year. And he's younger than me. And there was a split second where I was like, damn, I got to fucking get my shit together. He's making over $200K a year. But then I was also like, no, actually, I wouldn't trade what I'm doing for what he's like to be in his position, because there also comes like as ironic as it is to say, because I'm dealing with so many legal issues, there's also like the freedom of it, you know, where like I'm a YouTuber for fuck's sakes, you know, and it's really I just be telling myself like this is the cost, like this is charge it to the game, you know, like this is the cost of it. It's almost like if you were a famous rapper and you had baby mama drama. It's like, yeah, that sucks that you got some supermodel pregnant and now she's like, you have to pay her 10 G's a month, but also like you're Chris Brown or whatever it, you know, you're Chris Brown. Yeah, there's things you're going to deal with, like struggles that the average person would like lose their mind over, but also you're Chris Brown. In my situation, I'm dealing with the struggles that most people would lose their mind over, but I'm not yet Chris Brown. You know? But I just keep having I'm like sticking to the I don't want to use the word faith. I'm sticking to like my conviction that I'm doing the right thing and that it will eventually lead to me being not Chris Brown, but you get me, like some whatever equivalent where the good matches or outweighs the bad. And there are some days that I feel like the good does outweigh the bad, you know? There are some days that I don't get an email from one of my lawyers and I feel great, you know? And it's a nice day outside and I went and did something with my family and it's like for a minute I forget about it, you know? So yeah. It is what it is, man. It is what it is, man. Viz Mayhem in my Discord asking stream tonight. You know better. Of course. Let me see what y'all saying in the chat. Now, the almost entirely green chat. Mwah, bellissima. We love to see it. And almost 200 people watching, but only 55. Is that true? That's not, can't be possible. Oh, okay, 119 thumbs ups, but still there's 180 people watching. We got to make it make sense. You know, if you click thumbs up on the stream, it triggers like notifications for other people to get notified that I'm live, or like it pops it up on their feed so then more people watch, and it's almost literally a pyramid scheme in that sense where the more people I recruit who click thumbs up, the more people join, and on and on. It's magical. Ed209 says, scamming regular people is cool. You just can't scam rich institutions like banks and hedge funds. So true. Yeah. Scam. If you want to get away with scamming, just scam normal people, I guess. I could buy 36 houses that are $1 million each and rent them out if I had 36 million. Yes, so true. You could buy a lot of politicians with 36 million. So true. It actually surprises me how many of the politicians who are like the top paid politicians by AIPAC, like I thought when I heard about AIPAC lobbying politicians, I assumed that they'd be getting way more money than they do. I think the highest paid one was like Ted Cruz, and he's getting like $800K. I was like, really? That's it? That's got to be the best fucking return on investment in human history. That AIPAC lobbies a politician for like 800 grand, and it results in a bill being signed that says they're going to send $4 billion to Israel. It's like, you spent 800,000 to make $4 billion? Fuck yeah, I'm doing that deal. Just like, what's his name? Ash Mufareh. You scammed 100 million, you only had to pay out 30? Fuck yeah. Not even 30. Marco would shut down Big Pyramid with that money. So true. Oh, Benjamin, I'm so sorry to hear that. My brother, who is a computer programmer, died this week. There's a video of his $4 million mansion that has 136 views. Crazy. PayPal notification. Okay, wow, that's crazy. I'm reading your guys' comments here. I don't think I'm just like sitting here silently staring at the screen. Thoughts on Alex Hormozy? Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't know enough about him to say, but I'm skeptical of all these dudes off rip. I'm skeptical. He just came out of nowhere and he's like an entrepreneur guy. I don't know, bro. I'm good. Appreciate you, Dave writes. Another 10 million to the lawyer. Give him the money. Boom.
Billions and billions.
We gave him the money. Boom.
Spartan says, Marco, goons and other anti-MLM creators stand with you. The anti-MLM movement will grow. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Alexis, been in the cult for a long time.
Thanks, Marco.
God did.
The cult is so strong. It's disgusting. 18 months. Damn, it's like 3 years. Devin says, Marco already knows this, but I had to sue a judge once. Let's say judges have egos and a scary, underestimated amount of power. Avoid pissing them off. I'm still dealing with it 3 years later, worrying that I'm being watched. Damn. Amif says, going through something similar. Thanks for talking about this, Marco. Appreciate you. Would you ever do something on the side? Maybe your own time IBO thing that's not MLM? Perhaps, but bro, it's ironic. I would need to be making more money than I currently do now in order to have the time to take up something on the side, because right now I'm doing everything myself. I edit all the videos myself. I'm making all the thumbnails myself. So if I had like an editor, even just that would save me a lot of time where I could potentially do something else. And I started doing these one-on-one calls, and I was actually working on it today. It's like a free guide, which if you watched my stream a few weeks ago called Getting Friends Out of Cults, where I was going through my highlights from the book Freedom of Mind by Stephen Hassan, I'm sort of taking ideas and principles from the literature I've read about cults and MLM and marrying them together, and also, you know, applying my own experience and examples from my own life and my own videos, for example. And I'm making like a free PDF guide that anyone can download. And it's basically to help you navigate the relationship with your friend or loved one who's in MLM, with the ultimate goal of getting them out. And from that, if people want help applying that to their own situation, I started doing these one-on-one calls, and I did 2 last week. One with a gentleman whose wife is in Amway, and then another one, and he's in Australia, and another one with a woman from the U.S. whose younger brother is in Amway. So it's people from all over the world, from completely different backgrounds, both dealing with similar things, and it's really been a joy for me to help people with that. So very fulfilling. Alonso says, I heard about my TikTok buddy Pedro from WFG who recruits for them. He's a good dude outside of the MLM stuff. Oh, I'm sure. Marco, what would happen if everyone watching just dropped $5? That's a great question, Specs. It's actually insane, because if everybody dropped $5, that's $850. Not only would the dono goal for this stream be filled, this is the crazy thing. And I know it's like fantastical thinking, but in my mind, I actually do think like, okay, that's a huge amount of money for one person, but a very little amount, an almost negligible amount for most people. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, it's almost nothing for a person to spend $5 for a good cause or for something they want. Like, think about a coffee. A coffee at Starbucks is more than $5, okay? But to one person, it would make such a huge difference. I mean, I'm like acting like it's a brand new thing. Like I've invented the idea of fundraising. Like that's obviously what that is. It's like that meme of LeBron where it's like when LeBron invented the deluxe album. I love that video so much where he's like, what if we put out the album and then 2 weeks later we said, here go 3 more for y'all. That's one of my favorite videos of all time. But yeah, it would be a huge huge help. But I want to let people do that on their own time. I don't. I've done a GoFundMe before, and I don't know. I could do it again, but thus far I've survived without doing it. And I'm also skeptical of bringing in a big chunk of money all at one time, like through a GoFundMe. Like if I was to bring in like $20,000-$30,000 or more from a GoFundMe, there's also like, again, this might be me being skeptical. Thank you, Critter. Appreciate you. Goon tax. Yes, pay the goon tax. This might be me being like cynical, but I feel like if my lawyer and all of the lawyers that I've worked with have been great people. I'm not even talking about them. I'm just talking about like a future situation where perhaps I have a different lawyer who's not one of the ones I currently have. If they see, and I say this because this happened to me in the past, if I launch a public GoFundMe and it's brought in $50,000, my lawyer, whose bill might have only been $20,000, is going to look at that and say, Marco has $50,000 for legal fees. So I'm just going to bill him $50,000. I'm just going to say that this thing that I wrote, that I drafted up, took 10 hours instead of 1 hour. What am I going to do? Sue the lawyer and go to the Law Society and like have them forensically analyze their books to estimate whether it was realistic or not that they actually spent that much time to see if the billing was accurate? No. So that's why I'm like, it's almost like safer for me to get 100 here, 100 there, 1,000 here, 1,000 there, than to get a big chunk of money all at once, if that makes sense. That's a beautiful thing about the streams is like, I can do a stream and maybe make $500. And if I can do that, let's say if I do 2 streams a week, we're just doing math here. If I do 2 streams a week, that's 8 streams a month. And let's say I need to make a minimum, let's estimate that over the course of a year, the amount of money I spent on legal fees, a retainer that you're paying one time and a lump sum, I may be spending $10,000. So let's break that down over the year. Let's say I'm spending $2,000 a month on average on legal fees, okay? And I'm doing 8 streams a week. I need to make approximately $250 per stream. And that's actually not too crazy to think about because it's not just from donations. That would mean from donations, from the ad revenue on the video, which I generate from, like, YouTube pays that. That comes from you watching it for free. So $250 per week. Sorry, $250 per stream. And then, of course, I still need to release other videos. And realistically, I need to make more than that because I still have to pay for, like, rent, food, etc. So, but yeah, great question, Specs. The better question is what would happen if 113,000 subscribers donated $5? $565K. That would definitely cover some legal bills. But again, everybody's going through their own stuff. I don't expect anybody who's going to like support me at the cost of taking care of their own shit. And everybody's problems are relative. Like for me, the biggest problem in my life doesn't feel greater a problem than the next person's biggest problem in their life. Everybody's obviously going to put their own situation first, as they should, as they should. So I want people to support me within their own capacity and not feel like pressured to do it, I joke and I do bits where I'm like, pay your goon tax and whatever, but definitely pay your goon tax. Danny Boy says, crazy how all these MLM guys say they have money but work all day every day. If I was rich, the last thing I would want to do is be in one of those events. So true. I mean, it's the ultimate irony of when they say like, oh, I would never want to work a 9 to 5. You work 24/7. Mo says, recruit me as an editor. I'll recruit more and so on. You'll be so rich. Yeah. Alex Hormozy is annoying, says Benjamin, and pushes basically prosperity gospel. Okay, interesting. You'd get 7,500 if 150 are watching. If 150 are watching and they each gave $50, yeah, okay. I think Spec said $5, right? Yeah, 5. Marco, you should go to a college in Edmonton and give awareness to the students not to join MLMs. I'd love to.
Hope Wooten just dropped a bag,
Wow.
27 Canadian dollars and 68 cents. About to be in bed with Marco.
Hey, yo. About to be in bed with Marco.
What you are about to witness is real. The participants are not actors. They are actual litigants with a case pending in civil court. Both parties have agreed to...
She means by watching it on her device in bed. I don't know. I'm not with any. I mean, come on now. Alexis, super chat for the future legacy of the lawyer. For the future legacy for the lawyer. Just kidding. Have whatever you want with it, and it's Macedonian dinars. Thank you, Alexis, for telling us the currency. And yeah, it's. I mean, it's definitely going to be for the lawyer. I'll tell you that much. My lawyer watching this like. Marco's shoulders looking rounder and broader. Pause. Don't even pause that. You know, I bought this shirt 2 years ago, and this is the first time I've worn it in like a year because I was traveling around. I was in Thailand, or it was the summer when I was here, and it was kind of hot to wear it. It's significantly tighter on me. Let me back up. I actually feel a bit fat right now because I'm on a bulk. I'm eating 2,900 calories a day right now, trying to grow, but. If I took my shirt off, oh my goodness. If we fill up the dono goal, maybe I'd take my shirt off. My lawyer's like, how did you get this money? I'm like, don't worry about it. I'm on OnlyFans now. Sounds like a Lebanese lawyer. Hilarious. The Fringe show hasn't happened yet. So if you're in Edmonton, hit me up. The goons are meeting up. I'll film it too. I'll do like a little 1-2-1-2 at least a YouTube short, you know. I'll at least drop a YouTube short off of it. Nobody drinks more water than me. Hire an intern who loves your content to do editing. Yeah, true. Get back that gruel truck up, and y'all better thank a union member. So true.
You better thank a union member.
And thank you also, Hope. I bought someone who I suspect to be homeless food the other day. Some dude asked me for money like yesterday. Karma, baby. I one time offered a sandwich that had meat on it to a homeless guy, and he said he's vegetarian. What the fuck? How can you how can you deny free food when you're homeless, you know? And that's when I knew poor people were evil. Just jumping to the like most far-flung conclusion. I bought someone, blah, blah. How predatory are MLMs in Thailand? Exceptionally. You'll see in my video that I've been talking about forever that people don't even think it exists anymore. It's like Dr. Dre Detox. The video that was message me said, I don't want to say publicly because I don't want the assassin to know exactly where and when I'm going to be. But in the video that I have about Amway and its influence in Asia, and I show it like how much money they've spent to build these like extravagant like Amway centers. Like some of them, they're called like an Amway Learning Center or something like that. And it's like a massive sprawling complex, especially in Malaysia. The one in Malaysia is insane. Here go two more for y'all. Thank you, Devin. Appreciate you. I got to pull that video up. LeBron, here go two more for y'all. LeBron, here go two more for y'all. You know what I'm talking about?
$16 tracks, right? The 16 tracks, we want to do 14. But is there a problem with a week or 2 weeks after the album drop with the 14 tracks that we add the deluxe album and add the 2 songs back on?
I think that's hard.
I think it'll be a conversation of, oh shit, this man has some more, but he couldn't fit it into the album. Thank y'all for taking on this ride with me. Yeah. You know what? Here go 2 more for y'all. Yeah.
I love it. You know what? And also, the guy on the whiteboard writing deluxe down is so funny. Like, they just really came up with some shit. And 2 Chainz being like, that's hard. Like, of course you were going to do that anyways, right? Please tell me you were going to do that anyways, 2 Chainz. And LeBron, like, is it possible? Like, they would have to bend space-time to do it. Is it possible that after the album come out, as a thank you, And also the best part too, him saying like it would be a conversation of, it wouldn't be a conversation. Nobody would be sitting there like, yo, 2 Chainz just dropped his album. I didn't think, man, wow, 2 more songs? There's no way. Hilarious. Yeah, the money that the Amway spends on establishing a presence in these poorer Asian countries is really heartbreaking and remarkable. In Malaysia, I went to their headquarters, and it is literally like a multiple acres, like, the best thing I could relate it to is like a Scientology center. It's insane. They have the history and the statues of like Richard DeVos and Jay Van Andel, the same way a Scientology center would have like a shrine memorializing L. Ron Hubbard. Lafayette, you know, why is your name Lafayette? Are MLMs more prevalent in community-minded countries? Poor and big population, and yeah, I feel like poor countries are inherently more community-minded because they need to rely on each other more. They need more help, so they help each other. Two Chainz named his dog Trappy? No way. My friend told me earlier that he enjoyed every song on Kendrick's GNX, and I don't believe him. He's a liar. He's a dick rider for sure. I'm on in the gym for a month now. I don't have results on the scale, but I'm smaller here. Yeah, the scale is misleading because there's you know, if you ever seen the diagram, like a pound of fat versus a pound of muscle. Okay, this is the size difference. Here, let me see. This is the size difference between a pound of muscle and a pound of fat. Okay? So those both weigh the same, but the volume is way different. So since I've come back to Canada, I've had a bunch of friends and relatives be like, bro, you lost so much weight. I've actually gained 30 pounds since the last time they saw me. The last time they saw me around Christmas, I was actually 30 pounds lighter. But ever since I've come back, they've told me I've lost weight. That's because I've lost fat, but I've gained muscle. So I'm more lean. It's really remarkable. So yeah, you know, think about somebody who's 260, like Bradley Martin is somebody who's 260, right? There's the meme of him always talking about how he's 260. Okay, and he looks like this. Okay. But you could also be 260, 260 pounds. If I just search that, 260 pounds person, most of the images are people who are overweight. So it's the difference between fat and muscle. So don't listen to the scale. The mirror is more, trust the mirror more than the scale. Damn, I have to piss. There's this one Unicity guy who's been exposing me on Instagram. Apparently, I blocked him on TikTok. I don't even remember. But I'm sure he wants to do a debate with me. I haven't responded to him yet, but maybe I'll do a stream about it, and maybe we'll get him on to do a debate. But I have to run and piss, so don't go anywhere or go somewhere. I can't fucking control you. But yeah, I'll be super fast. Okay, ready, set, go. Good news. I did not fall in the toilet. Love that. Alien Alley says, oh, it was a hidden comment, so I had to approve it. Alien Alley says, I bet Marco has a big wang. Hey, we fill up this dono goal. Y'all might find out.
Marco.
Oh, this is the perfect time to play this sound effect. You're winky.
Winky. You're a little mini inch winky.
Love it. Let me see the thing. Critter says, 100% agree on the mirror. I don't own a scale for this reason. Trust. Where is Glenn, bro? Where the fuck is Glenn? You've definitely been blessed with my content this month, Sid. Oh, by the way, I dropped a new episode of Multi-Level Misery yesterday with a guy who was in Amway. Go check that out. And Julie Anderson, shout out to her. She just dropped an interview with a woman who was in Amway for 30 years. 30 fucking years. And I went and clicked on her profile, and she's left a bunch of comments on my channel. She's been watching me for a while as well. But Julie got the scoop. What can I say? I have a video with Julie, too, that I haven't edited yet from last month. We filmed it. In my country, Kyrgyzstan, we are plagued by a Russian MLM called Siberian Wellness. They mainly prey on lower-class folks in the former USSR nations. Damn. Vince is done with MLM. Yes, he quit, and he posted a video saying I was right, which I really do respect, because he could have just gone ghost and blocked me, and I would have never known. I would have been none the wiser. But he actually had the honor and the nobility enough to say that I was right and he was wrong, which is what we should all be saying all the time. Okay, Benjamin said let's see some comments from him, at least the guy who was talking shit about my whatchamacallit, Unicity videos. Let's see. I gotta go. Where is he anyways? I have to find him in my. Oh yeah, he's in my DMs because he tagged me and shit. But let me find him. I gotta scroll because I got too many messages. What was his name? His name was like some stupid shit. Oh, here he is. Okay, here, let's pull him up. Here we go. Instagram / Here he is. Okay, this is him. This is the guy. All right, let's see. He has he posted some he DM'd me some stuff, and he posted some stuff about me. Let's check it out and see. Everything's a psyop. Okay, here's one about me.
Spot him. He'll be the only.
Can I get some love on this post, please? Okay, which one is it? Oh, this one. Okay, so so hold on.
Take a look at these fucking hurting backs.
It's a bunch of Maha, anti-vax.
If you are unvaccinated,
Anti-vax, everything is a scam, and of course he's using these talking points to push Unicity. There's Bikram on his page of the same spiel about insulin resistance. DJ Carlos, fat ass here. I mean, it's really impressive. 0 comments, 5 likes, 3 likes, 3 likes, 9 likes, 8 likes, and he has 28,000 followers. He has almost double the followers that I have, and he's getting 3 likes. I'm a bit offended too. The one of me only has 3 likes. I thought surely always Marco will have more likes, but let's see what he had to say.
Spot him. He'll be the only black guy, and he'll be the tallest one out of everybody, for sure. I see him. Damn! You know how to capture the moment, bro. This is like 90 Day Fiance, bro.
You might recognize Fidel from my 2021 series on I Am Academy, where he was actually the one trying to recruit me into the MLM. After that video came out, he left the company, and he's become one of my closest friends. I think his story helped a lot of people, and on May 1st, 2025, the FTC finally sued I Am Academy for being a $1.2 billion scam. A few weeks weeks later, on May 23rd, IM Academy officially suspended its operations on the same day Fidel graduated from college.
Let me get this straight. Years ago, your buddy got conned into a scam selling training that you could literally get online for free. Once he ran out of friends to recruit, he quit. Then he came on your podcast, you guys talked about it a little bit, and the company shut down the same day he graduated.
Okay, thus far, his retelling of events is completely incorrect. Fidel didn't leave the company because he ran out of people. I made a video about the company, and he was in the video, and that's what got him actually thinking about it differently. He also didn't come on my podcast. Him and I did a Zoom, and I was anonymous, and he was trying to recruit me, and he was part of the expose of the company. Okay, go on.
What part of this fucking story helped anybody at all?
Okay.
What better way to bring things full circle than having Fidel join me for
this guy gives me the same energy as Alex, the seal coat guy with the red glasses.
This infiltration of Unicity.
And what better way to bring things full circle than the two of us wasting our time, energy, money, because we don't understand the difference between a legit network marketing company and a pyramid scheme. We just assume they're all the same.
They are.
Should be easy enough to spot him.
Oh, that was the whole video? Damn, okay. What you said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I've heard. No point in your rambling, incoherent response where you're even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is no dumb. Okay, but what's the point? I mean, you didn't really say anything there, bro.
Let's get it. This that go and get it. With no hesitation. This that never quit.
He tagged me in 2 different stories yesterday as well, but I can't see them now. I didn't even watch them. Let me see. Do I have it? Did I save it somehow? Let me see. I didn't even say. I literally ignored it. I saw it. I saw him mention me in a comment, and I was like, "This guy again,"
Johnny
and I didn't even watch it.
$19.99 pawn super chat. Thank you for you vids. Your vids helped me leave Primerica. They recruited me after a combat deployment with the military. I was really depressed and lost at time. Your interview with Gary K helped me leave.
Thank you for the super chat, Johnny Danger. Really appreciate you, and I really appreciate the kind words as well. So thank you. That's very generous of you. Thank you. Yeah, all he was really doing was insulting. I swear there was another post that he made, or another video he made, where he like said something that was closer to like a point, I think. Let me go back and see. Did I screen record anything? Let me see. Me with my niece. Jared Wilkins comment that he deleted. Me with my niece again. Apparently he says I blocked him on TikTok. Let's see if we can find his TikTok. TikTok, or like, is there another one about me?
80.
I mean, okay. I would love to bring him on a debate so that we could like talk about what his actual problem is. I'm trying to find his TikTok right now. Oh, here he is. Okay, he's right. I have him blocked. So how do I unblock? How do I unblock somebody on TikTok? I think I only block people on TikTok when they spam me and leave me a ton of comments. Okay, how do I go to my fucking how do I go to my blocked list on TikTok? Audience controls, no account. Shit. Activity center. Blocked. Here we go. No, it's not there. I was seeing things. Fuck, how do I do this? Security and permissions. Unblock someone on TikTok. In the TikTok, go to the person's profile. Well, how can I go to his profile if he's blocked? Tap the share button, tap unblock. Okay, but find my blocked list. Okay, menu, settings, privacy. Here we go, privacy. Blocked accounts, here we go. Okay, wellness wisdom, there he is. Okay, got it. He's unblocked. Now I should be able to pull up his TikTok on my computer. TikTok, wellness. Here we go. Okay, let's see if we can pull him up now. Yay, it worked. Okay, great.
Heartburn and bloating went away the first time I tried this.
Sure it did. 55,000 followers. Holy, that's more than me. And you're getting 200 views, 300 views. Oh no, not fake followers. Don't use fake followers. Where's the video of me? No message? Where's the video about me? Oh, here. Okay. There's another one of me here. Oh, yeah, this is the one. Yeah. Okay.
I'm all the way in Bangkok, Thailand because
I did 100.
I'm all the way in Bangkok, Thailand because
I did absolutely zero investigating or research about this company before I booked my flight or started this docuseries.
I'm going.
Okay, already just objectively incorrect, and you would know that if you watch the video. I didn't book my ticket there to go there for that event. I was already there. I didn't do zero research. I did 2 years of research. And I actually went to the event to talk to the people in the company themselves.
I'm going to infiltrate Unicity.
Infiltrating a pyramid scheme. This is always Marco, and he's out here doing God's work, exposing scams.
Damn, 14 people who this guy follows follow me. I'm the best. Bro, 14 people who you follow me. This is recent, too. This is when was this posted? August 12th.
And schemers. He has a bunch of videos saying that Unicity is a scam, pyramid scheme, a bunch of other misinformation. I comment on a bunch of these posts with questions that required critical thinking and perhaps made him question his entire life.
LOL. Yeah, I was over here losing sleep because you, like so many people before you, who have come and made it a point to spam post after post after post with variations of the same nonsensical ramblings, which I've debunked literally endless times on YouTube, on Instagram, etc., and in debates, wasn't responded to, and I chose to block you instead of consistently being notified of new comments from your dumbass. I'm rethinking my whole life because I didn't want to spend my whole life responding to all of your comments, which I've done that before too. You respond to these people, oh my God, it's just going to be an endless reply chain of, I mean, you see how these people are when we're having a real-time discussion during a debate. What do you think it's like in written word? It's endless. There's no point.
He proceeded to block me on TikTok, but not IG. I want answers, Marco. Now, a lot.
Okay, what do you want to know? I made a hour-long documentary about it and several live streams with more information and more exposing. What did I miss? What do you want to know?
A lot of people hear the term MLM and they think pyramid scheme, but the truth is an MLM company and a pyramid scheme are two completely different things.
No, they're not. Actually, the burden of proof is on you to prove that. If you're making a claim, I made the claim. I've made the claim many times that they're exactly the same thing, and I can explain why with logic and reasoning, which you claim to be a proponent of. If you're making the claim that they're two different things, then I would say that you have an equal responsibility to do the same thing. Explain it.
The number one difference between an MLM company and a pyramid scheme is the product. If you have a product that people actually want, need, buy, consume without selling. If you're on prescription,
oh shit,
heartburn. If you're on prescription drugs and you want to
know
the
I skipped it.
I'm all the way in Bangkok.
Different things. The number I consume.
Okay, so he asks ChatGPT, is there a difference between an MLM and a pyramid scheme? ChatGPT says an MLM is legal when it primarily sells real products to customers, while a pyramid scheme is illegal because it makes money mainly from recruiting new members. I like ChatGPT. You know, I've used ChatGPT. I think it's great for like summarizing documents and doing research. However, it is an AI at the end of the day, and the AI learns from the sources that it has out there. The AI learns from the internet, and it pulls from documents that are written by human beings. And so when it's aggregating information written by human beings, you have to take into account that it might be telling you the wrong thing based on those human beings also saying the wrong thing. And in the case of whoever says pyramid schemes and MLMs are two different things, I submit that they are saying the wrong thing, that they are wrong. And I'm comfortable in my knowledge of that, and I think I can adequately explain it and argue it. as effectively as anybody else on the planet, maybe better than anybody else on the planet. Not to toot my own horn, but I've not found anybody else who's debated with as many MLM scammers and heard as many nonsensical ramblings as I have. So I'm open to it.
Without selling it, then that is a multi-level marketing company. And with Unicity and the Feel Great system, we have an amazing product that people are actually using. We have 10 times more customers than we do distributors. For example,
I've already explained how that's easy to finesse and lie about.
we have people like Auntie here who have been able to use the products to stay more consistent with those lifestyle changes and regain control of her health. And she's not interested in joining the business. She's not interested in pursuing the business side. She just takes the products.
That's great. Good for her.
People like Dr. Midge here in Canada who use the product, saw what they could do, and has gone on to help hundreds of people. A lot of them are not Canada who use.
I'm all the way in.
Fuck my ass.
Here who have been able to use the products to stay. He's not interested in joining the business. Canada who use the.
I like how on Dr. Midge's profile here it says lost 20 pounds in menopause, anxiety, brain fog, skin tags, energy, gastrointestinal issues, all deceptive false medical claims that Unicity themselves doesn't allow. Go on.
Product, saw what they could do, and has gone on to help hundreds of people. A lot of them are not distributors, only customers. Within my organization or network, 1,850 Feel Great systems were sold roughly last month. That's 1,850 customers and not nearly as many distributors. Did you ask anybody? Did you do any research? Who did you ask? You could have asked any one of us. What did you do to determine this was a pyramid scheme?
I mean, I'm just beating a dead horse and repeating myself over and over again to these people. I mean, I think the most important question to actually ask is, first and foremost, if what you're doing is so, if what you're doing was legitimate, I would have no reason to make a video about it, and you would have no reason to fight so hard trying to defend it. That's first and foremost. That's number one. Number two, I mean, where do I even begin, you know? Every MLM that's ever been shut down for being a pyramid scheme had products. All of them had products. The FTC has said there is no mainly or primary test for saying what percentage or what share of income has to come from product sales versus recruiting people. The FTC has never said one company that is a legitimate MLM company. The FTC has said that most people who join supposedly legitimate MLMs lose money. The FTC has said that sometimes people think they're joining a legitimate MLM company and it looks remarkably like a legitimate MLM company, but turns out to be an illegal pyramid scheme. So from what they themselves say, from what the authority on the subject says, we can discern that any MLM at any time can have the Scooby-Doo mask pulled off of it and it's revealed to be a pyramid scheme. In order for me to determine that Unicity is a pyramid scheme, or that it could plausibly be a pyramid scheme, I use the FTC's red flags on their website, which I show in the video if you were to watch the full video, and I go over what those are, and I show the examples that I collected. And I use Robert Fitzpatrick's 4 points. Is there a pay to play? Is it an endless chain? Is there an emphasis on recruitment? And is there an extreme money transfer from the last ones in to the first ones? In the case of Unicity, the answer is yes, 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 and yes. So yeah, let's see what your guys' comments are on this. Let's see what he had to say about it. Appreciate you, JNC. Thumbs up the ting if you love the stream.
Thumbs up the ting.
I'm going to end it soon, so if you want to pay your goon tax, or if you want to get some merch with a discount using the code GOONS, or if you want to book a one-on-one call with me, all that's in the chat. Appreciate you, Alien Alley. Thank you. It means a lot. He was insulting. That was about it. Let me read your comments here. It's hilarious how he interrupts you to finish your sentence. I know. It's really a triangle thing. Nobody can ever remember the words pyramid scheme after all, right? Pyramid scheme. I say a Ponzi scheme with extra steps. Those steps include you losing more money and actually working it like a job, whereas you sit back and wait for your money in a, I think you mean to say, Ponzi scheme. Arame says, "Can I interview you for my podcast?" I do appreciate the invite, but I've been pretty committed to my not going on podcasts unless I know for certain that it's gonna like be seen by people who are not who are not familiar with the topic. And it also needs to be like, not to sound away about it, but like it needs to be an audience that isn't familiar with the topic or is so big that I would be foolish not to go on it. Otherwise, I'm content just doing my own thing, to be honest, but I appreciate you. Call Dago says, "I'm going to poop right now while watching this." Thank you. I appreciate that. That means a lot, actually. Okay, what else? Let's see. I mean, what do we cover? We covered the guy at Unicity. We covered the GoonCon 6 happening. Patrick Bet-David's crew crashing out. OnPassive getting a settlement. Unicity guy exposing me. That's it. That's all I got for y'all. 2 hours and 17 minutes. I mean, the last one I did, I think, was a much long... I mean, what? Didn't I do a fucking 4-hour stream last time? Who is this guy? Who does this guy think he is? You think people have 4 hours to watch you? 4 hours. I still got to go put the chapter markers on that stream, don't I? Yeah, I do. Shit. Okay. So it was only a few days ago. I mean, that's all I got for y'all today. What do you want me to just react to current events and ramble? I could do that, but don't want to. I've talked too much today and yesterday. Yesterday I went for lunch with my cousin, chatting for like 2 hours. Then after that, in the evening, I went and met up with some other cousins and we were chatting. And then today, I was doing some work at a cafe, and a friend of mine met up, and we were chatting for an hour. So, and now I'm doing the stream. Too much talking, and I feel it. So yeah, Edmonton. If you're in Edmonton, DM me on Instagram, and if you're free, in the next couple of days, hit me up, so we can all meet up and do a Goon event. I watched the whole 4-hour last stream. Yes, I love that. Okay, where did your call Dago? Appreciate you. I just deleted it. I don't want to confuse people who search me up, so I just decided to like lock in on the one niche. But yeah, I do appreciate you. Please keep going. Please stay. Keep going. We like looking at you. Thank you. Gavin Newsom, I know nothing about it. Critter, I'll 1000% be here for 4 hours time and time again. That's crazy. What I want to know is, like, do you guys watch this with people, like a show? Like, do you, like, one of the things that trips me out the most is when people are like, yeah, me and my husband watch you or whatever. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, that's so weird for me to think about, like, that people watch it as, like, they watch it as, like, their show together. You know? And then I meet people sometimes and they're like, usually when people recognize me out in person, they'll just immediately, like, start going into their story about how a friend of theirs tried to recruit them into some MLM or how they were in some MLM. And it's like, yeah, and me and my friend, we watch your videos, or me and my wife. And I'm like, that's so crazy to think that I'm like a part of people's lives. You know what I mean? Like, this is just something I do for a couple hours, and then I'm like, and then I don't see it anymore, you know, like, or I'll do some editing, or I'm like doing an interview, or doing research, or like I'm editing a stream down to a shorter thing. And then, but yeah, I guess I don't. But I guess if I'm doing like a 4-hour stream, there are people who watch it as like, there are people who watch it like throughout the day, like in chunks of the day. Like, I have to imagine you're not watching the full 4 hours in one thing. Like, you might watch 30 minutes while you're eating, and then you might listen to 30 minutes when you're in the car, and then you might watch 30 minutes when you're going to bed, and then the next day maybe you finish it. I don't know how it works, but yeah. I just watch as a hangout. Yeah. And then also there are people, like, the majority of viewers don't watch it live, which totally makes sense. Like, it's a Saturday night right now. People are doing shit. So the majority of people watch it when it's not even live anymore. You know, they watch the replay. Or like some people are in different time zones. Some people are in different time zones, so they actually can't watch it live. But then they watch every replay and they comment on the replays. So that's always really interesting to me. I'm sure there's something we can watch. I don't know. Y'all have any recommendations? Does listening to stream while playing video games count? Yeah, I'll allow it. I'll allow that. That's fine. On the commune, we don't really have video games though. We have you could play with like a stick and a rock while you listen to the stream on the big screen. It's like a drive-in theater, but there's no like cars. You just like walk up to the big screen and watch, like in Big Brother, you know, in 1984. Critter and Devin watch it as a hangout. Critter says, if I miss it, I'll watch periodically throughout my day. Okay. Treytino says, sometimes I watch out of order because being live is worth it. Treytino, why is your name not green? Shu Murphy, why is your name not green? It's people who rewatch the whole stream immediately after a stream. True. Are you one of those people? I think I'm meeting Shu Murphy tomorrow. Is that right? Crazy. Edmonton. Got to get Marco to say your name. So true. Got to be live for that. I saw your comment earlier, Treytino, when you said stand over my bed with a lightsaber or something. I see you. Who goes there?
SL_id_47D 352D8 to 2Fe2 to 3E8B donated 15 Canadian dollars. This is why.
Wow. Just wanted to thank you so much, SL_ID_47D35D28 to 2FE2 to 3E8B hyphen. Really means a lot. Thank you. And I love that name as well. That's one of Elon's kids. What's your opinion on gooning? Isn't it so unfortunate that I nicknamed my fans the Goons, and then fast forward to 2025 and like goon became like a popular term for like wanking? Come on. You asked, my name isn't green. I don't know. Watching your streams feels haram because I'm not there dropping the message. LOL. So funny. It rolls right off the tongue. So true. I'm sure I have another thing that I can talk about here. Hold on. I have a video that I've been preparing for in the background, which is about Patrick Bet-David. It's specifically about Patrick Bet-David and his comments on Scientology. If anybody's interested in that, PBD and Scientology. Xenu, can you go play one of your songs before going offline? Also, I'm gooning to you right now. Thank you. Really appreciate that. I actually don't even think I have any of my music on this laptop, because I got this laptop late 2023. Yeah. So I don't even have anything on this laptop, unfortunately. I wish I did, but I do appreciate that. I could perform something for you. I never fucked Wayne, I never fucked Drake. Not one of my songs, but yeah. Treytino says it's always meant that for me. Gooning? Oh, okay. Damn, I didn't know that. Okay, now I say I'm gonna leave. Everybody's dropping bag. Oh, it was Treytino who was the 4783. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Treytino. Thank you, Treytino. Yeah, goons I always thought was like bad guys or mobsters. There's a new Lego Batman game coming out, and I watched like the gameplay like demo, and they changed the character of goon to hench person. Get the fuck out of here. They're erasing my culture. They're erasing me. Okay, let me see if I have anything here. You know what I should do is go to behind MLM and just like see. That's from May. Okay. And just see what the latest is. Because they're always on it. Okay. Xeon, can you perform something? I like your voice. It is good gooning fuel. Okay, hold on. I need to go into the Streamlabs now and try to find out who this is. If the bags keep dropping, I'll keep going. But like, what the fuck, too? You know, gooning. You know, I goon to Marco every day, even when I'm on the toilet. He makes me goon. Appreciate you. Hench person tax, hench person court. It doesn't hit the same. Hench person, I know. Can you believe the first Lego Batman game was 18 years, came out 18 years before this new one's about to come out in 2026? Strong disdain has entered the chat. Woke culture. Peace out, Alexis. Pains me to see that dono bar. Where's that guy who dropped like 1,000,000 yen one time, for real? Okay. Oh, FTC secures Iovia preliminary injunction and asset freeze. Okay, August 22nd. Hey, that's yesterday. Fuck, let's learn about this. Okay. This is IM Academy, formerly IM Academy. The blanket injunction follows Alex Morton consenting to an injunction last month. Oh, really? Did he? What did he do? What did he do? One of 9 defendants sued. Stands accused of misappropriating $76 million through Iovia. Wow. His proposed preliminary injunction. There is good cause to believe Alex Morton has engaged in and is likely to engage in acts or practices that violate Section 5A of the FTC Act. Okay. The telemarketing rule and Chapter 598. Okay. There's good cause to believe immediate and irreparable harm will result from Alex Morton's ongoing violations. Yes, unless Alex Morton is restrained and enjoined by order of this court. FTC and Nevada assert there is good cause to believe. Okay. So true. Okay. Concealment by Alex Morton of his assets or records unless Alex Morton is restrained or enjoined by the court. Assert that good cause exists for requiring preservation of his assets and permitting the... Ooh. Alex Morton is prohibited from making misleading and or unsubstantiated earnings claims. Oh, that's the easiest one to get him on. This guy's been doing this for over a decade. He can't help himself. It's just part of... It's just part of him at this point. Misrepresenting or assisting others to misrepresent experience. Oh, dude. Really? He has an injunction to prohibiting him from doing this? we all need to go follow Alex Morton closely right now, and every time he promotes a Zoom call that he's doing, we need to be on there micromanaging and combing through his statements to see if he's violating this. Hopefully it leads to actual more penalties or, you know, even hopefully jail some way, somehow. Alex Morton deserves to be buried in a jail underneath the lowest layer of hell. Is not allowed to misrepresent or assist others to misrepresent experience, time, and amount of capital required to use a good or service. Nice. Attached to an MLM opportunity, yes. Not allowed to misrepresent an MLM opportunity by suggesting any government entity is auditing or reviewing an attached good or service. Okay. Oh, bro, a bunch of shit. Not allowed to destroy evidence that pertains to his time at Iovia. Not allowed to transfer more than $75,000 in assets without prior court approval, transferring any assets out of the U.S. Damn. He will also provide the FTC with financial statements, tax documents, and a full accounting. Oh, bro, it's done. It's done. The court approved the injunction on June 30th. It's expected Morton's Iovia preliminary injunction will put a damper on his promotion of GFU. Morton and a large component of his Iovia downline migrated to GFU prior to the FTC's lawsuit. At GFU, Morton is believed to be replicating the same alleged fraud. Duh. He did it with Vima. He did it with UNES. He did it with iMarkets Live, which then became IM Academy, which then became Iovia, which then became GFU. To that end, Morton is required to disclose his GFU business activities to the FTC. Wow. And on that note, 16 hours ago, Morton made this time-based success guarantee on his personal Instagram account. Willing to sacrifice and work 20 hours a day for a season of your life gives you a pretty good shot. Oh, so he's already violating it. Embodied. Morton provided no substantiation for his claim. I love it. Morton is the first defendant, Iovia defendant, to consent to a preliminary injunction. As of July 8th, he has until July 21st to file his answer to the FTC's lawsuit. Update July 22nd. Subject to commission approval, Alex Morton has reached a settlement with the FTC. Really? Huh. So, okay. He's like, you got me. But once again, I'm sure it's going to be marginal. Like, he'll still be rich after it, won't he? No update on his settlement approval, but the court did grant a stay pending a decision by the FTC. The granted stay only pertains to proceedings against Alex. What's the agreement? What's the settlement? The counsel for the FTC can seek commission approval of proposed stipulated final order. Okay, for permanent injunction and monetary judgment. Make this guy a fucking janitor again, you know? Here's another one. This was August. Okay, this is the new one from yesterday. Oh, they've secured injunctions against the remaining defendants. Alex Morton, already they got him. Jason Brown, Matt Rosa, Brandon Boyd. All losers and clowns and jokers and scammers. Basically similar things. There's good cause to believe the defendants will blah, blah, blah. The standing Iovia corporate defendants. The preliminary injunction applies to are IM International Markets Live, Iovia, iMarkets Live, IM Mastery Academy, IM Academy, and Assiduous Inc. The only individual Iovia defendants left are co-founders Christopher Terry and Isis Terry, formerly Isis De La Torre before they got married. The blanket injunction prohibits Iovia and Terry's from making misleading or unsubstantiated earnings claims. Okay, basically the same thing. Iovia's assets are frozen. The Terrys are unable to move substantial sums of money, nor are they allowed to transfer any assets overseas. Any new business activities Iovia or the Terrys undertake must be reported to the FTC. A monitor has been appointed to oversee compliance. I love it. Who goes there? The man dropped a bag super chat. Me and my gay husband. Me and my gay husband. Love gooning to your videos. Thank you so much. Thank you, the man. The gay man, we love it. The gay community is in the palm of my hand like this. All right, let's see this. This is good news. Oh, Brandon Boyd. Here we go. Also yesterday. What the fuck? This is also from yesterday. Hold on. Brandon Boyd settles Iovia fraud with FTC for $6.3 million. No way. There he is. This guy blocked me in 2021 for posting about how he's a fucking scammer. Fuck you, Brandon Boyd. Brandon Boyd settled Iovia fraud allegations with FTC for $6 million. His monetary judgment was part of a stipulated order settlement filed on August 20th. Let me see if this guy... I'm sure he has me blocked. Brandon Boyd. He wouldn't have unblocked me for any reason. Accounts. Brandon Boyd. Okay, the only Brandon Boyd is like a singer. Let me go to one of my backup accounts where I might not be blocked. Brandon Boyd. Here he is, Brandon Boyd Official, 100K followers. Bro, he's still promoting MLMs. The first thing on his story is a story of two guys. It's like a flyer. Gold executive. Him on stage at an MLM event. Motivational speaking with a picture of Denzel Washington. Celebrating success. Him wearing ill-fitting suits. Damn, he was in IM for 10 years. 2015 to 2025. He posted on April 30th. It's pinned to his profile. MLM, IML/Iovia. Completed the greatest business chapter of my career. My final chapter will be the biggest one I've ever done. This is in April 30th, a month before the company was shut down for being fraud by the FTC. These are still pinned on his profile, by the way. Motivational nonsense. So is this, I think he's one of the guys now who's moved to Gifu. 7 children. You kidding me? Network marketing, 26 years. What a waste of a life. It's worse than a waste of a life. A waste of a life would be sitting there on the couch doing nothing for your whole life. This guy, you know, you're scamming others for your entire adult life, man. Fuck you. Based on June 4th financial statement provided to the FTC, Boyd will only pay what? So he was broke. How does this even make sense? The FTC says, okay, pay us $6 million, and he says, I don't have it. June 4th financial statement, he will only pay $500,000 of his $6.3 million judgment. How do you finesse that? Surely they got to check and see if he has like more than one bank account, right? In addition to the monetary penalty, he's permanently prohibited from providing instruction or education relating to training services, assisting others in the provision, representing that he's a training services or educator, assisting others in representing that he's owning a company that has anything to do with trading. Why the fuck would it have to be limited to trading? The scam that he's part of is not about trading. It's about MLM. The trading part was incidental. The trading part was the window dressing and the disguise. That's like if he got caught being part of a essential oil MLM that turned out to be a pyramid scheme, and the penalty was just prohibiting him from selling essential oil. It's not about the essential oil. It's about the pyramid scheme. He's also permanently prohibited from making unsubstantiated earnings claims. Okay, but I mean, they all do this. Prohibited from misrepresenting earnings potential and profitability. Okay, he's subject to compliance reporting for 10 years and record-keeping requirements for 5. He'll also have to cooperate with the FTC with their Iovia case, which I'm guessing means snitching. Longtime Iovia promoter, having been with the company across its iMarkets Live and IM Mastery Academy iterations. Look at this fucking clown. What a goof. In addition, Jason Brown and Matt Rosa have settled with the FTC. No way. As of 3 weeks ago, Boyd was promoting Gifu on social media. Gifu, sounds like a brand of jam or something. Peanut butter and jam in the same jar. Oh, interesting. Coinciding with multiple Iovia top promoters jumping ship prior to the FTC's complaint, Gifu introduced a trading education component to its MLM opportunity. Huh. Gifu is now a clone of Iovia, with several top promoters continuing to defraud consumers using the same tactics. Bro, this can't be. Sorry, was I not fucking sharing the screen the whole time? Money laundering is a thing. So true. Thank you, the man. G without the fuel. Yeah, Jifu. The FTC's lawsuit has dampened Gifu promotion in the U.S. Promoters are marketing Gifu on the premise of trading when, in fact, much like Iovia, trading is irrelevant to the majority of promoter earnings. Man, what a fucking shame, August 8th. Okay, I missed this. Jason Brown and Matt Rosa settle FTC's fraud case for $36 million. How much will they actually have to pay, though? In their capacity as promoters. Okay. These two little butt buddies right here. The FTC in Nevada allege Iovia was a large deceptive investment training scheme. Well, no, it was a pyramid scheme through which Brown and Rosa misappropriated $33 million. The FTC in Nevada charged Brown and Rosa with violations of the Restore Online Shoppers. Remember when I called Jason Brown on his phone number during his honeymoon, and I pretended to be a kid who was in IM, and he said the N-word a whole bunch of times, and talked about how genius Marco was and how Marco was always one step ahead. And then in true one step ahead fashion, I revealed to him that he had been talking to Marco the whole time. What a fucking glorious body bag. Okay, let's see. In settling with the FTC, Brown and Rosa consented to the facts alleged in the FTC and Nevada's complaint will be taken as true. Okay, so they admit it. They admit that what they did was fraud. Based on sworn January 2025 financial statements from Brown and Rosa, the pair are only required to pay $2.5 million of the $36 million. You would think, these guys have been pushing. I'm pretty sure Matt Rosa was in Vima back in 2013, bro. It's been 12 years. And these guys promote themselves online as like multi-millionaires, and they say as much. And based on their financial statements, the FTC is like, oh, you can't even afford this $36 million. Like, you only pay 2.5. Permanent injunction. Okay. Not allowed to misrepresent the training service MLM opportunity. Oh. Okay, you're not allowed to misrepresent a trading service, MLM opportunity, and or investment opportunity. Well, I would actually argue here, FTC, and I know they're going to be annoyed at me for saying this, but I would argue that promoting an MLM at all is misrepresenting an MLM opportunity. Because if you're promoting it and advertising it as anything other than a scam, you're misrepresenting it. They must fully cooperate. Thank you, the man. I mean, we're in that gym, the man. Any change to Brown's or Rose's personal details and/or business activities must be reported to the FTC in Nevada till 2035. My God. Around the time the FTC in Nevada filed their complaint, Rosa was promoting something called The Shift. You guys are so fucking stupid and lame. The Shift's website, theshiftlaunch.com, hasn't been updated since the FTC filed suit. Alex Morton was also part of The Shift. In social media post July 26, Rosa claimed business was booming. What a fucking cringe lord. You know? Clowns. Benjamin says, in Eric Worre's From 130 to 71K, a wife described trading sex favors for her husband to making recruiting calls. Jesus Christ. Do you like JPG cologne? I don't even know what that is. I'm sure you could find a few posts of him doing this doing such at this moment. I agree. Patrick but David podcast was earlier in the stream, y'all. Devin says, the hottest man alive / one of my fave musicians is also named Brandon Boyd, lead singer of Incubus, and it's killing me. Like a singer. Yeah, I didn't even know that. Sorry. I never even heard of Incubus or Brandon Boyd. Calling it an opportunity is already a fraudulent claim. So true. The selfies are killing me. It's giving grinder. Yeah, not the itty bitty face tattoos and the eyebrow shave, right? Imagine that was your dad. This guy's a dad. Is this the guy who tries to stay on your couch? Yes, he's the one who said he'll stay. He'll let people live in his house if he mentors them. What up, Burger Baron? Jean-Paul Gaultier. No, I've never tried it. I've never tried that cologne before. Is it good? Is it hitting? Is it busting? Sorry, I got an important message. Aw. Mo says you'll pull the baddies if you wear John Paul Gaultier. Mo S, I appreciate that, but let's be real about this. Where am I going to even run into baddies? I don't go anywhere. I'm in the crib or I'm in the gym. That's it. Or I'm at a relative's home where I'm inside the home and everyone there is related to me. And I'm not obviously not trying to smash anyone. I'm not that kind of Lebanese, you know? So yeah, I don't know. And at the gym, I mean, what, you know, I've never been one, and I'm not about to be one of those guys in the gym that's like trying to talk to girls. That's so lame. You know? Any ladyboy you've been seeing lately? No, just your mom. Marco just girly popping on his phone. Chill, chill. It's an important family message. I wasn't even supposed to be on here still. Y'all forced me to do this. Here, let me change this. Okay, there we go. I don't need the headphones at this moment because I'm not reacting to anything. Imagine he starts playing Candy Crush. So funny. They'll come to your place. Okay. Go places, do things. I'm chilling, bro. I'm chilling. MLM meetings got baddies because they don't know what to do in life. So true. Alien Alley says, I would smash you, Marco. Thank you, Alien Alley. Assuming you're a man. Appreciate that. Yeah, it's raining outside. You can't see. That's why I'm inside with the fireplace on. I can't link baddies right now, G. Eric Worre, 71K. If I search that. What was it called? 300 to 71K? $300 to 71,000. Where is it, a video or what? I'm searching it. Eric Worre. Oh, here it is. From 130 to 71,000 team members in 6 months. Gina and Steve Merritt. 70 LOL. 71,000 people in your team, and the vast majority of them losing money. I mean, imagine how many people. Let's just pretend it's a 5x5, right? Okay. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 times 5. Okay. We know that can only go 13 times before you exceed the population of Earth. I did it. What was that? Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times. And after 6, we're at 78,000. So they're already halfway up the ladder in terms of recruiting all the people you could possibly recruit. But, like, that's a bigger sales force than, like, you know, major companies. What could you possibly be selling that has that much demand that you would need 71,000 people who are all selling it and competing with each other? It's just, again, it's completely antithetical to real business if what you're trying to do is sell. Everybody cannibalizing the market and cannibalizing each other's potential for sales by competing with each other and, you know, recruiting recruits who sell the same thing you do, you know, recruiting recruits who recruit recruits.
Probably about 130. So you think about all that's underneath those. We got about a third probably that are serious.
Oh my God, there's a whole chapter literally called Gina reveals her effective tactic of trading sex for phone calls. You can't make this shit up. Why aren't you guys hearing the audio? Why didn't you say something?
lady, you got to hear this. This is an incredible way that she encouraged me, that I found incredible, rock solid business people in our business from this one little bit of encouragement.
No pun intended. Rock solid.
It's way out of the.
How do you help this gentleman to
pick up the phone,
to step into a higher version of himself, to do the thing that was uncomfortable for him?
Step into a higher version of himself. Jesus Christ.
How did you encourage him to do that without him feeling like pushed or made to be uncomfortable? What's your secret sauce?
Well, I think his dealing was he was nervous maybe he had people that he was not comfortable with calling. And I was like, you're just calling them. They're going to say yes or no.
Stupid.
What's the big deal? So I would tell him, listen, did you call such and such? No. And I said, okay, well, if you go call them, I'll be here waiting on you. I was in bed. I'll be here waiting on you till you come back. And then he'd come back and he'd go, they're coming to our meeting. I said, yeah. Then I said, okay, now what about such and such? And he'd get up out of bed. I said, I'll be here when you get back. So I have this precious girl.
So you're trading sex for him?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I'm working it. Come on.
We just had a couple hit big rank after the lady said, my husband's not doing anything. She gave him the same advice.
She said, I just don't know what to do.
Wow. Super cucking ritual. I mean, it's not literally cucking because it's like your own wife that you're having sex with, but like if your wife has to bribe you, I hate that. I hate that whole like haha joke about like wives threatening to withhold or offering as a prize sex in exchange for whatever. It's like, bro, do you like each other or not? How can you negotiate desire? You know? It totally trivializes it, and like I think also I hate this. Now y'all gonna get me on some fucking now I'm gonna be sounding like I'm like a red pill podcaster, you know? Here's my thing. Imagine if a guy was to be like, hey, honey, if you don't do XYZ, I'm not having sex with you. Bro. Okay, I'm not going to talk about anybody else except me, okay? No girl could ever use sex as a bargaining chip with me. If any girl was to ever try doing that with me, I would just stop dealing with her. Because number one, it's insulting. To like, you know, you think you're going to be like dangling that in front of me like I'm some dog and it's like a treat and I can't control myself. Number two, this is not a one-way street. Like this husband and wife here in this video, she's offering him sexual favors for him to do things to push their multi-level marketing scheme. Okay, like maybe it's one-sided, like maybe she's just giving him a blowjob or something. But like, let's say they're actually having sex, because that's what Eric Worre said. You're trading sex, and she said yes. Sex is not something one person gives to another person. You're both doing it. You're both gaining from it. You're both getting enjoyment from it. You know? So that's why it's like, and let's be real. Who's doing most of the work? Me. I'm doing everything. You know? So you're not giving me anything. This is an exchange. And if we really wanted to argue it, I'm giving you something. Let's be real. So this is insane.
I just am really struggling with him getting on the phone. I said, come here. Her and I go to the side. I said, listen, do you know how to work it? And she goes, work it? I said, yeah, you work it. Have him make the call and tell him, I'll be here when you get done with the call. I'll be waiting for you in bed. I said, he will make that call so fast, boom, he'll be in bed. And she goes, oh my gosh, that's genius. I love it. I love it.
Now you see why we're moving everybody through the ranks, Eric.
Do it.
And I'm wondering why you only had 4 kids. It's like there's a lot of calls he had to make.
Yes. Well, we both make the calls, but yeah.
So,
but I had to encourage him.
Yes. And I do a lot of conversations with couples because there's different dynamics.
Right.
Right. Sometimes one's the primary, one's the secondary, or one's primary and the other one's just supporting. Sometimes somebody's building and they're not supporting.
Yeah.
Like they'll do the opposite.
Right.
Like I'll punish you if you go build your business. I'll punish you if you make that call. And they have to deal with that.
Yeah.
Punish you and try and figure out that
It is
dynamic.
tough to build in secret.
Do you guys both build? Are you both builders?
We both are.
build.
Everyone, we both got our, but we do it
And we
together.
both have different gifts.
Yeah. What are your
obviously.
gifts?
Well, Gina knows how to
what are the
start a
strengths?
conversation with anyone. There's no doubt about that. But I mean,
I love those shoes. Fuck you, Gina.
I will say this much: that isn't my strength. But a lot of people feel sorry for me because I don't know. They're like, "Do I need to sign this and fill this?"
Bro, look at Gina's eyes. This woman is insane. Both these people sort of look like they've been resurrected from the dead.
Out for you, yes. Okay. So I mean, it's like sometimes if you talk, you're a, what do you call it, a matty chatty, or a, you chat too much.
Right,
What are you talking about? You talking about?
I'm not going to be saying much because I'm like, I want the paper filled out, or I want the thing.
I don't see that in this conversation.
Yeah.
I see like you're ready to talk and
Yeah.
you're ready to share.
I think what you're seeing
Today's
too-
probably a little different though, right?
Yeah. Well, I think what you're seeing is that I've been a coach my whole life because, as you know, in the
Yeah,
Midwest,
he's so
with
good
all
at
the
that.
boats that you have to have, in order to barefoot ski, you have to have a 454 or a very fast outboard. And my parents never could afford that kind of boat. We had 40 horse or 55 horse, whatever,
But you did it.
So what I did was I had to work always to be a coach.
Insane. Honestly, Eric Worre's channel is like an endless wealth of stream content to react to. From food stamps to freedom. Eric Worre responds to critics. I can't wait. Okay, let me see what some of y'all comments are on this here. Marco is projecting. LOL. Okay. Let me see. Let me see. I will always be fascinated by the size of Eric's head and the lack of substance in it. So true. I can't hear Eric Worre without thinking about spider legs. I'm watching old streams during the day and I died. That's so funny. I thought it was just girly pop time. No. Yeah, spider legs. I said that Eric Worre reminded me of this guy. Henry J. Waternews. And that like I have a theory that like Eric Worre like in these videos where he's like sitting at a desk like under the screen, like out of the field of view, he has spider legs, like mechanical spider legs. Treytino says, I'm all for transactional sex. But this is wild. I know her box ain't that crazy, LOL. Dude, red flag of the century. Toxic, manipulative, and unhealthy. Normal people don't do that. That's not love. Makes 0 sense. So true. Women do it all the time in marriage therapy. I'm sitting there like, no, we aren't doing that, right? I don't even play that game with girls who I'm like, if I'll go on a first date with a girl, and sometimes girls, bro, they're so, they'll be so, okay, I'll tell you this. I was seeing, this is the extended cut of the stream. This is the extended stream after I already talked about everything I wanted to talk about. You're getting a little personal tea, a little personal goon news, always Marco. Yeah. Okay, so this is the end of 2023, right? This beautiful girl hits me up on Instagram. Beautiful Lebanese girl. Now, I've never dated a Lebanese girl before, but this girl was gorgeous, so I was like, I'm a holla at her. She DMs me. I could already tell from the message. Girls have no game, by the way. I could already tell from the message. She asked, the DM was like, hey, Marco, are you Lebanese? Listen, I know you. Look at me. What the fuck you think I am? You know I'm Lebanese. So she hits me up. I'm like, yeah. Obviously, the next message is like, what did she say? Let me make some hummus for you sometime or something. It's like, obvious. I know what this is. You're just trying to find an in. All good. So anyways, I meet up with her literally the next day. We go for coffee. It's a halal ting. I'm 27 at the time. She's 27. Now, within our first conversation, this girl's telling me all about how she wants to marry a Lebanese boy. And here we go. This talking only lasted 2 weeks. During that time, nothing happened except a little kissy. Nothing happened, nothing handy, nothing mouthy, nothing, okay? This girl says to me at one point, mind you, we're both 27 years old. You know, we could be grandparents by this age. She says to me at one point, you know, she's very marriage minded, and like I'm hearing what she has to say. I'm open to, you know, if we fall in love, we fall in love. So, also, this is a flex. She told me, I actually tried to slide in your DM a few years ago, but you had a girlfriend at the time. I wish I never had a girlfriend at that time. My last relationship, I wish I never would have gotten in it, because the amount of bad gal that I turned away while I was in this relationship or just ignored, bro, there was one girl literally who I'm like, if I think about it, there was one girl who, when I was in the relationship, I got a DM from this gorgeous girl, and my girlfriend at the time was like so offended and like threatened by it because I like was public about the fact I had a girlfriend. And so my girlfriend, it wasn't enough that I just ignore this hot girl. My girlfriend was like, I want you to respond and make it clear that you're not interested in her at all, and like send her some rude response. And I sent her some response being like, you're trifling because you see I obviously have a girlfriend or whatever. But man, imagine I didn't have a girlfriend at the time. Boy, oi, oi. Anyways, so this Lebanese girl, she's like, yeah, I tried to holler at you a few years ago, but you had a girlfriend. And so now she's spinning it back to shoot her shot again. Wow. She's been thinking of me this whole time. How romantic. She's like, yeah, me and my brother have watched your YouTube videos. My mom has watched your... I'm like, I already got blessing from the family? Say less. So anyways, at some point during the 2 weeks, near the end, she says to me, and this is a direct, indirect relation to the Eric Worre thing we were just watching. She says to me, just so you know, I don't want to have sex until we're engaged. Now, that's fine. You're allowed to want whatever you want. You're allowed to set your own rules and boundaries. You're allowed to set your own parameters. You shouldn't let anyone ever pressure you into anything. That's fine. Also, thank you, Champagne Poppy. Appreciate you. Also, I think it's fair for me to ask, since you're already making sex, like, we haven't even had sex, and you're making it a transactional thing already. Like, she was talking like crazy old world type relationship where she's like, yeah, I want you to meet my dad, and then we can get engaged, and then we can get an apartment together, and then we can have sex. And I'm like, that meme, what are you talking about? I asked her in a respectful way. I said to her, have you ever had sex before? She said, yeah. I said, and were you engaged? She said, well, no. You know how girls are. They just make it up. Oh, well, I dated one guy before. I had one boyfriend before, and we dated for 4 years, and I thought I was going to marry him, but it didn't end up working out. And I said, and you weren't engaged to him? She's like, no. And I said, okay, again, you can do whatever you want. I just want to make sure that we're on the same page about, like, how we view relationships and, like, being transactional, because I don't play games like that where it's like, you're going to get this if you do this. I don't do that. You do what you want to do. I'm going to do what I want to do. Hopefully it lines up and we live happily ever after. So I said to her, okay, so you had sex with your boyfriend before, which of course, that wasn't even a thing in my mind. I wasn't even going into this being like, you better be a virgin. I'm not even like that. Of course you had a boyfriend before. You're fucking 27 years old. You're a grown adult. Of course you had a boyfriend and you had sex with him. Duh. But you're the one who came out talking this crazy shit about we're not having sex until you meet my dad and we get engaged. Are you crazy? So I said to her, okay, you had sex with your boyfriend before, obviously, but you weren't engaged. Now, so let me, like, I'm just trying to get this straight. When you were younger and you never had slept with anyone, he got to sleep with you and didn't have to be engaged to you. But now you're 27, you have slept with someone before, and for me to be able to do it, I have to be engaged to you. The math ain't mathin'. And that wasn't like the final nail in the coffin that undid it or whatever, but it was like, that was a contradiction of something she said to me in our very first conversation when we met. She was like, I hate controlling people. As soon as she said she hates controlling people, in my mind, I was like, this bitch is controlling. I know it. I just knew it. It was like an immediate projection. It's like, what a weird thing to say on the first coffee date that you're meeting somebody. I hate being controlled. Okay, sir. Okay. Officer. Relax. You know? So yeah, anywho. I'm chilling. I'm chilling. We not doing none of it. Imagine I said to a girl, we're not having sex. She would think I'm gay. If I said to a girl, I don't want to have sex until we're married or until we're engaged or anything, she'd be like, okay. Weird, you know? Any more Unicity content coming? Inshallah. ACN used to say no sex until you hit regional director or something. Hilarious. Leb girls are a disaster, Marco. I may stay single forever. Yeah. Meet your father. Are you crazy? You know? I'm reading your comments. Appreciate you, Noctis. Paul Striner. Marco, I worked for Valuetainment and PHP for almost 6 years. I watch you and Too Lazy and some others, and I cry laughing. If only you knew. Yeah, dude. Me and my editors would watch you in our editing suite. That's hilarious. While you were working for Patrick Bet-David, you watched me in your editing suite. That's so funny. Dude, the amount of people who have reached out to me who used to work for Patrick Bet-David and just have stories on stories of how much of a shit show it was is amazing. Devin Kelly says, I was on a first date with a guy a few months ago, and we were talking about YouTubers, and I mentioned Marco, and he goes, oh, the Indian guy? First of all, Devin, fuck you for even telling me that story and saying that. She says, that's the first person I've met who has actually heard of Marco. What do you mean? You should have said, no, you must be thinking of someone else. What the fuck? Indian guy. I know I'm brown, but there's a clear visual difference between Indian dudes and Arab dudes. Let's be fair. No offense to my Indian brothers out there, but y'all, you know, we know what it is. You know, let's not act like the Kardashians are lining up to date Indian men, you know? The fuck? You should have told them nope. Anyways. Triggered Petit says, it's tough for sure. I've been married 18 years and, hold on, I missed it. And has see or hear some crazy shit in my therapy session. I once had a girl tell me if I go for a vacation, I don't get to have sexy time. Huh? If you're going to be a trad wife, why go half-assed with engagement? Why not wait till marriage at that point? Yeah, and also, I feel like the trad wife, like you don't get to set the boundary of saying no sex till we're engaged if you've already had sex. You're trying to make a value proposition to me, saying if I buy you a ring and meet your family and buy an apartment and commit to being your husband and like provide for you, that we're going to get married, then we'll have sex. This is a value proposition. So forgive the analogy I'm going to make. I'm not trying to objectify anybody or like say that women are like this. But let's just say I went to go purchase, let's go say there was a different situation where I was in a different value proposition, where let's say I was buying a car. And the guy at the car dealership said, okay, I have this brand new car for $10,000, or I have this used car for $20,000. I would say, what? An older car, which is used, is more expensive than the brand new car, which isn't used? And that's what it basically what she was telling me, that when she was younger and had never slept with anyone, she slept with her boyfriend and he didn't have to be engaged to her, but now she's older and has had experience with someone, and I have to be engaged to her. You're asking a higher price for the same thing. You're asking a higher price for the same thing after a previous owner. You know what I mean? Like, again, forgive the crude analogy, but I do think it's appropriate considering you're making a value proposition. You're trying to tell me if you do this, you will get this. So what the fuck are you talking about? It's insane. She would text you, why are you gay? Spec says, messaging on Tinder, like, just so you know, you're not getting this did till you meet my mom. So funny. It's such a Lebanese girl thing to be so controlling, you know. That's the thing about the most beautiful girls. Like, there's always the meme about Latina girls who are just like, who just be on bullshit, but they're so beautiful. Lebanese for sure is like that. Bro, he was right. Of course he thought you were Indian. I don't care, Devin. And he was subscribed. Pfft, insane. Thanks for the recommendation, Cade. Yeah, I don't know, bro. I mean, at least he was subscribed, Devin. That's cool. I mean, the cult grows that Devin was on a, what, you said you were on a first date and the guy knew always Marco? I mean, he's the one, isn't he? Except for him thinking I was Indian. WTF. Honestly, I don't know how this stream came about me. Normally I'm talking about other shit, but like, bro, the older I get, the less and less I think I'm going to get married. And like, I'm not opposed to being with one woman. That's not the thing that's not the issue I have. The issue I have is like, why would I sign a contract where the other party is incentivized to break it? I would never get into a business arrangement where somebody, you know, I start a company with someone, for example, and the contract or the law stipulates that if they violate the contract and, you know, dissolve the business, that I'm still going to have to pay them, you know. It doesn't make any sense. There's no incentive, in my opinion, at least for men, to get married. And I'm not trying to be on some like red pill shit. I believe in falling in love and meeting the one and spending, you know, a happily ever after together. I'm not saying don't do that. I'm not saying go be a passport bro and smash a bunch of gal. I still believe in all the, do you believe in magic? I still believe in that. That's fine. I'm not against that. Okay. But why would I actually sign the paper? And also, I was talking to some of my friends in Thailand last year. We're in Bangkok, okay? The city never sleeps. There's endless beautiful women. There's endless, you know, opportunity. There's endless convenience. You can get around easily. Food is cheap. You know, rent is cheap. It's just like, you know, I make money. I make my money online. I can go live anywhere realistically. I could go live anywhere that has a lesser value currency than the Canadian dollar and leverage the currency arbitrage and live a better quality of life, making the same amount and continue doing my thing. And no, you know, I can get a green screen anywhere. Okay. So I was talking to my friend who's like a gorgeous bodybuilder, right? And I'm talking to him when we're in Thailand and I'm like, at what age does it become not worth it for me to just keep living like this? Like, am I going to turn 35 one day in 6 years? Am I going to be 35 and be like, okay, I guess it's time to stop having complete control over my time and doing whatever the fuck I want every single day and like dating beautiful women and like, you know? I don't know. And also, every person I know who's married is like, don't get married. You know, they always like pull you to the side. They're like, don't get married, don't get married. Even married men would be like, don't, there's no rush. There's no rush. What do you mean there's no rush? I had a dude tell me, like, within his first year of marriage, don't rush. What do you, what? You know? I'm such a troll too, my friend. I had a friend who got married back in 2021. It was like the first friend of my age group who got married. And I was at the wedding. And I literally called him like a week later. And I was like, he was like, yo, you're on speaker. And it was him and his wife. And I was like, are you both fat and miserable yet? And they did end up getting divorced. They got divorced less than 2 years later. I'm always right. I don't know. Fuck. Let me see what y'all saying. It's insane. My Italian grandfather was called the N-word. That's crazy. Joseph says, "Hey, watch it. I love being married." Joseph, you're the one. You're the one exception. Moissanite ring, save 1/20th, shines brighter, no flaws, no one can tell the difference. After a year, no one gives a crap, and you're not stuck with a 20 to 30K artificially inflated rock. Yeah, 100% agree with that. What up, Queen of Karma? Trey Tino says, I relay way too hard. Literally, and even I was talking with someone today. I was talking with my friend today about this, and he's gay, actually. And this is the friend that I met up at the cafe with. We were having coffee. Good friend of mine, happens to be gay, and, you know, he's not, like, flamboyantly gay. He didn't walk into the cafe carrying, like, a little poodle in his fucking purse and, like hey! He's just a guy, and, you know, you wouldn't even know he's gay unless he told you. So anyways, we're there talking, and we were talking about this exact topic, about getting married, and he's like, I don't think, like, I want to live with somebody. Like, I would get sick of somebody seeing them every day. I can barely stand myself every day, you know? I cherish being able to fall asleep so I can get a break from myself, you know? But, I don't know, man. I need to get one of those houses that's in like a C-shape configuration where like the left wing is her side, the right wing is my side, and then we like meet in the middle where there's like the kitchen and the living room. And then I'm like, good night, and I go back to my room, you know? Or I'm like, okay, or like we meet up in the morning. No, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll sleep in the same bed, but then in the morning, we'll go into the kitchen and like have our morning together. And then I'll be like, okay, see you. I'm going to my side of the house to work for the next 10 hours and like film videos and shit. And you go to your side and like, I don't know, do whatever you do, paint or, you know, or also work. I don't fucking know. What do girls do? And then we'll link back up again. Some shit like that. You know. Joseph says, my wife is my best friend. She's so cool. Everyone talks shit on getting married. Everyone hates going to weddings. Why is everyone doing it? Yeah. If you ever feel it not worth it, just remember there's 65-year-olds and MLMs trying to retire. So sad. Critter loves being married. Okay. The always and always Marco is for always right. So true. Sorry to hear that, Sarah. Oh, that's another thing that scares me. You know, my favorite like subgenre of music is like songs where it's like the man, like, you know, some of these Frank Sinatra or Dean Martin songs. From the bottom of my heart, dear, I love you. These songs where it's like, and by the way, I don't know why this is my favorite like genre of song, even though I can't relate to it at all. It's like the man is like singing about his long lost love or like his wife who died or like, there's some songs, man. Johnny Cash, I Still Miss Someone. Roy Orbison, Crying. What's the name of that one Dean Martin song? Frank Sinatra, How Deep Is the Ocean? You know, these songs about like they've lost their girl or like, you know, it didn't work out and they're, you know, I can't relate to this at all, but I love those type of songs. Imagine I actually got married and it was like some, you know, The Punisher, like the TV show, the comic character where it's like he's a good guy and then his wife dies and then he just like says fuck it and starts killing people and shit. I don't know, bro. That scares me. That scares me as well. Imagine your wife dies. What the fuck? He's the good kind of gay. Hilarious. So the White House? Yeah. Marco's right wing confirmed. LOL. You have a happy, successful life in marriage. So I think we've talked about this one before, Specs. You have a happy here. This is the hypothetical, okay? You have a happy, successful life in marriage, but your soulmate is Maggie Gyllenhaal. Do you do it? Hell no. I go to hell before I make Maggie Gyllenhaal my one and only. This was the thing. Y'all recast Katie Holmes in The Dark Knight with Maggie Gyllenhaal, and you expect me to believe that Bruce Wayne, the richest man in the fucking planet, who also happens to be Batman, who also happens to be fine-ass Christian Bale, who happens to like in one scene, literally in the same scene where he jumps out the window at the party to save Rachel's life, he literally walks into that scene where he lands his helicopter on the fucking balcony and there's like 3 beautiful supermodels with him. And then he goes inside and he's like, Rachel, get the fuck out of here. Joker throw Rachel out the window. Later. You know. When Marco's wife dies, he's gonna play Celebration. Come on now. Nah, come on. Chill. So, I really do appreciate you guys, like, making these streams part of your day, like when you watch them on the replay or whatever, because I've been like slowly making my way through the Hunter Biden interview that he did with Andrew Callahan, the one that came out a month ago. I'm only halfway through, and I've probably sat down to had this on like 6 different times, and I'm only halfway through, and it's only 3 hours and 16 minutes. Y'all somehow managed to watch a 4-hour stream of mine in like one day. Marco, am I better off being a reseller refurbishing retro games? Yes. Or becoming a WFG agent? Yes. Thoughts on cheating? Super whack. I mean, how stressful. Even in the first of all, I think the older generations didn't cheat because it was impossible. Like, what are you going to do? You're going to get on a horse and ride to the town next over and go find Mary Lou and, like, try to sneak in the back? People are going to see you. The neighbors are going to see you. It's over. Everybody talks. Even in the internet age today, I don't even get how people could or would cheat. Imagine you're cheating, and you're talking to the girl that you're cheating with, and your wife is in the other room. Okay, boom. I'm going to meet you tomorrow, 8 o'clock. And then later in the night, you're laying in bed with your wife, watching TV or something, and your phone, and your phone is just laying there, and your wife sees Sandra or whatever. It's over. How do you hide that? You have to have like a fake app that looks like a messaging app, but it's like a calculator or some shit, or like turn off the notifications, or like save her name as Pizza Hut. Too much stress. And you know what? You know what really is unappealing about it? Not feeling bad or my wife catching me, which of course would be super whack. But like, the thing that's the most unappealing about it to me is it implies that I'm not doing what I want to do because I have to hide it. I don't want to fucking hide anything I'm doing. I stand on business about everything I do. I'm not hiding nothing from nobody. Take it or leave it. I'm me. I do what I want. So, so if I was to cheat, it wouldn't even be cheating because my wife would know, and she'd either be okay with it or not be okay with it. Either way, it wouldn't be cheating, because if I told her, "Yeah, I'm linking up with a new gal," if she said, "Okay," then we have an agreement and it's not cheating. And if she said, "No, I don't want that, I'm leaving you," then it's also not cheating because I told you about it. Now our relationship is over and I'm in this new shit. What the fuck is a hop sock? Hop sock. Sock hop. You talking about sock hop? Record hop was a hop officially organized dance event for teenagers. Yeah, she gonna catch you at the sock hop. Some people get off on the forbidden love thing. I don't get off on the forbidden love thing. I'm Captain Consent, baby. If I was a superhero, my superhero name would be Captain Consent. That must be refreshing for a YouTuber to be Captain Consent, because it feels like, didn't Destiny, the left-wing political streamer Destiny, just get found out as being like a pedo? I could be wrong about that, but I thought I saw some shit about that. Why is everybody a pedophile? Why is everybody a pervert sending their dick pic? Especially when you're a public figure. Don't send a dick pic. Just don't. If a girl likes you, and you're a famous YouTuber or whatever, guess what? She'll message you. You'll know. She'll like 36 of your posts in a row and deep like something from 3 years ago. You'll know. And then guess what? You can politely say, "Let's meet," or whatever. Would you like to go for coffee? And then when you're in the privacy of one of your own homes or whatever, if the vibe is right and you say, "Is this okay?" Whatever. Then let's see Wagwan. I've had girls shame me too for that. Girls have shamed me for asking for consent, which is so fucked, because it's like, what do y'all want? On one hand, it's like, it's this. Literally, this has happened to me many times in my life. And I'm not playing with y'all. I'm not changing. This has happened to me where I've gone on like a date with a girl, or it's like a second date, and we're back at the crib. I remember one time when I was 21, this happened with a girl, and she was like a few years older than me. I was 21. She was like 24, super hot girl. And I was like, yeah, I was a little bit nervous as well, but I also ultimately just wanted to make sure I didn't have like an embarrassing moment where I like, you know, sometimes the vibes is weird. Sometimes you can read the room wrong. So I never want to be in a situation where I think she's feeling me and then I move in like to make a move and it turns out she wasn't feeling me like that. Like, I don't want that embarrassment. So I remember I said to this girl, I said one of two variations. I said either, do you want to kiss or can I kiss you? It was one of those two things. And you know what she said to me? And this is what several girls have said to me. Ugh, you shouldn't ask. You should just go for it. That ruins the magic of it and blah, blah, blah. I want it to be spontaneous. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. So, let me get this straight. After all of this, where have the real men gone? Consent. You need to ask for consent. Men are pigs. Men are all evil. After all this, here comes always Marco. Before he was even on YouTube, at 21 years old, with a beautiful gal. We just had a nice dinner at the vegan restaurant. I say, can I kiss you? And you say, oh, I ruined it? If you like me, and I like you, and now you have confirmation that I like you because I've asked to engage physical touch, and we proceed henceforth with kissing and who knows what else, why would that ruin it? Wouldn't that just be... And guess what? Once we've passed this threshold, and I know now that we have a new, like, threshold of comfortability with each other, I'm not going to ask you every time. Now that I know we're cool with that, and now that I know that that's the level we're on, next time I'm going to just go for it. But the first time, let me breathe. The first time, let me ask for consent. How about that? At least so I know that you're down with this. You want me to just force myself upon you in the off chance that that's the romantic thing you wanted. You know, men like my grandfather don't exist anymore. Men used to take initiative and be assertive. I got too much to lose, baby. I got too much to lose. You want me to just... We just came back from wherever. You want me to just... Hey, by the way, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. You do it to me then. How about that? You know? The fuck? It's like, make up your mind. Support Knock the Cat's business of selling refurbished games. Appreciate you. If you're unhappy, say it. It'll save you a lot of money. For real. Cal Dago says, I send my dick pics out to random people just to get their opinion on it. That's understandable. Rampage literally had a sexual consent form beside his bed on a music note holder stand thing. That's me. That's me when I get 1 million subscribers for sure. Airdrop a dick pic. YouTubers have been Captain Minors, especially the richest ones. Yeah, why is that? Like, and it's always the ones who are like the most like... That's why I don't trust motherfuckers who are too clean. Their image is too clean. They never did blackface. You know, they were never a cocaine dealer. You know, I don't trust y'all. Shay Carl cheating on his girl. I remember he had like the heartwarming family vlog. Destiny, you know, everybody's evil and misogynistic except him. All you motherfuckers are weird, bro. I don't consider myself part of your thing. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm a guy who sometimes bullshits on here. How about that? Mo, you understand. I can ask a ting for a kiss. I can't ask for a kiss. It'll be weird. But if I go in for one, I'm a creep. What do y'all want? What do y'all want? Oh, consent is charming. Okay. Actually, she just ruined the moment. Yeah, you ruined the moment by saying anything about it. You ruined the moment by saying I ruined the moment. Just say yes. Or, guess what? Hey, here's a crazy idea. Imagine, hypothetical girl, imagine I say, do you want a kiss? And you just lean in and kiss me. There we go. I have my answer. We don't need to make a thing about it. And guess what? That girl who had to just say something about, you shouldn't ask, you should just go for it. We ended up kissing and more anyways. So why even say anything? Stupid. Pardon me for chivalry, right? Okay, kiss you. Can I kiss you is charming. Okay. I feel like you gotta find a way to rizz up the question. No. There will be no question about what I'm asking for. Do you want to kiss? Can I kiss you? We're not playing games with this. I'm a YouTuber. I got too much on the line. And by the way, this is how you know that if a bitch ever comes out and says I forced myself on her, you know she goddamn lying. I'm passionate about this shit, you know? I actually don't understand people who can like R-word other people. That's not sexy, you know? That's also why I could never purchase that. Because it's like, for me, it's not about the act. For me, it's about like my ego feeling good. I want you to want it. You know what I mean? I'm addicted to consent, I'm addicted to the idea of you being like, yes, not to me doing the thing. You know? I'm chilling. I'm good. Keep it. Keep it. Anyways, y'all got me started. Phil Dono go for blackface stream. Yep. Is it autumn? Out trying to riz baddies while watching Always Marco stream. Hell no. It's the only way. Y'all trying to me too me. I bang 12. Terrible fucking name, by the way. You bang 12 what? Change that. Change it to I bang 21 and up. Girls like feeling like they are running the relationship. They love the crave. Okay. Rayanne Ahmed, do you think Adam or Vinny will stay in that podcast? I think Adam's gonna dip. Captain Consent t-shirts. Hit him. Did it hurt when you fell from heaven? I'll consent when you buy me a ring. LOL. Stay with the can I kiss you. The right girl will appreciate it and then lean in, you know. Captain Consent with your face. No, I'm not even. I'm going to do some shit like that. That's too much. 12 equals police. Oh, you bang police? Okay. In today's internet climate, I don't know. Even bang. Like, what do you mean by bang, you know?
Hey there, Eric Worre here.
Sorry, Eric Worre jump scare. I should have prepared y'all.
And there's been a lot of chatter in the network marketing space in the last year or so. It's certainly true that the profession is going through radical changes, and as professionals, we all need to pivot when necessary. And to that point, I'd like to give you an overview of how I see my role in the network marketing community and my thoughts for how I'm going to be approaching.
LOL, the top comment from BK Boreko, the founder of Vima. You've done so much for my companies in this industry. Hey, you're a pyramid scheme scammer, my friend.
Things moving forward. In my 14 years with Network Marketing Pro, I provided training and or consulting services for companies or their top
like a scammer, pathetic liar, coward and weak man, total thief and con man. I like your paid fans.
Leaders in the following companies alphabetically. And bear with me, it's not a short list. Amari Global, Ambit Energy, ASEA, Beachbody, BeHip Global, Body Pro, By Design, Chalk Culture, Chogan, doTERRA, Ecology, Enagic, GanoExcel, Go Global, GS Partners, Healy World, Herbalife, IM Mastery Academy, Isogenics, Jeunesse, Juice Plus, Kiani, Connect, Legal Shield, Lime Life by Alcone, Life Plus, Life Vantage, Lyconet, Manatech, Max International, Modere, Monate Global, Monavi, New You Life, Nikin, New Skin, Omega Pro, Organo, Paparazzi Accessories, PM International.
Actually risky for him, actually a bad move for him to say all the names of these companies because as it will inevitably turn out, some or many of these companies will be shut down for being frauds or pyramid schemes in the near future after this. And that is what happened. This was released in 2023. 2 years later, at least one of those companies, IM Academy, was shut down. And Modere, well, for being a fraud. And Modere has since closed its doors. So, yeah, this is sort of like a time capsule of like, look at all the frauds I've promoted or helped.
Prove It, Secret Direct, Send Out Cards, The Happy Co, Total Life Changes, Euphoria Science.
Simply Daryl says, I know one of PBD's editors and showrunners that watches all your videos. I see the likes on Instagram. That's so funny. One of, yeah, never mind.
USANA, Utility Warehouse, UWE, Valentis Global, Vasayo, Vima, Vita Divina, Vox Life, World Global, Young Living, Unique, and Longevity, and I'm sure that I missed some. So let me explain something to you.
Fuck you.
When I'm deciding to work with a company or its leaders, I judge what I feel is the intent of the players involved. And if I feel that that intent is good, I usually move forward. One repeating pattern I'm constantly dealing with is some of the distributors in the companies that I train for simply cannot help themselves and try to use my speaking as involvement in the company itself. Some claim I'm a secret distributor. Others claim I have an ownership stake in the company. And even others like to say, see, Eric's a trainer on our stage, so our company must be good. I try to do my best to keep those claims under control, but I definitely can't reach everyone. And for the umpteenth time, I don't have a position in any company. I don't have ownership in any company. And I have never specifically endorsed any particular company or asked anyone to get involved with any particular company. And I never will. I try my best to be neutral and support everyone. Now,
Eric Worre is a great example of the saying, during the gold rush, sell shovels. That's what he does. He can be paid by any MLM, and it doesn't matter if one shuts down, he can get hired by another one. Think of all the speaking engagements. Think of the collective amount of speaking engagements and conferences and whatever that MLMs do throughout the course of a year. This guy could be speaking all year round, you know, and he has the books and, you know, it's just the whole thing.
Critics like to say, well, this company was obviously bad or obviously a pyramid. So you should have known better, and you shouldn't have given it any credibility by being a trainer for them in the first place. Here's my position on that. If I made it a criteria to...
Here's my cope and justification for being a fucking scammer who was instrumental.
Never speak, train, or consult for a company that was ever accused of being a pyramid, then I never speak at all. Because every single ever accused of being a pyramid, then I never speak at all.
What do you mean? They're all accused every single day, all day long on social media. What do you mean? Accused by who? It's only if the company accuses them, or what? The fuck are you talking about?
Because every single company in our profession has been accused of being a pyramid at some point or another, including yours. It's a cheap and easy accusation from outside critics, but in the end, the good companies make proper adjustments and survive, like many of your companies have, while others have been eliminated, like several on the list I just went through a few minutes ago. Now, it's also true that the products and services provided by new and old companies are changing. Some are service-based now, some are technology-based, in addition to the traditional physical products historically offered. And with the new services and technology, there's going to be winners and losers while companies figure things out.
That is a complete non-factor. The product or service an MLM company sells is a complete non-factor in whether or not it's a fraud or a pyramid scheme. It's a fraud or a pyramid scheme because of the model of the money-making model, or they would call it the business model, the compensation plan. They're endless chains. Exponential math refutes your cope, Eric Worre.
Some people like to say, due to my position in the profession, that I should speak out against specific companies that, in their opinion, aren't legitimate. In fact, when I first discussed the idea of Network Marketing Pro with Gary Vaynerchuk, Gary V, back in 2008, he suggested that I put anything I didn't like in our profession on full blast to let him have it. I decided not to do that for two main reasons. First, as I said, there's many companies that lived in a gray area for quite some time before making the proper adjustments into legitimacy and are now giants in our space. If I put them on blast for any mistake that I saw, I not only hurt the company, but I hurt the field, and I also hurt the company's chances of making the improvements they need for longevity.
Translation, I'd hurt my potential to get booked by these companies and get paid by these companies to speak to their distributors.
Do I suggest this to them? Yes. But do I put them on blast? No. And the second reason I don't put companies on blast is we already deal with so much misunderstanding and negativity in network marketing from outside sources. I wanted, from my heart, to come from a position of encouragement instead of criticism.
Okay. Just shaking my head.
I decided that in the end, the market will decide who succeeds and who fails.
Okay, so my question for Eric Worre is, what's a behavior you don't like and what would be considered an adjustment?
But my role is to support the profession as a whole.
I've met hustlers with more ethics than these fools, for real. Bro, the the African doctors and engineers who are on the streets of Paris outside the Eiffel Tower, not the Eiffel Tower. Yeah, outside the Eiffel Tower in Paris, who are doing the cup and ball game, have more ethics than this guy.
And let me tell you about that support, because I'm very proud of it. GoPro has been the #1 book in network marketing for 10 years, with almost 5 million copies sold in 19 languages around the world. The GoPro annual event is the Super Bowl of network marketing and the largest generic training event in our profession. And the most powerful women in network marketing event does the same for the great women in our field. I put out more free network marketing training content than anyone ever has, and will continue to do so, because it's what I'm meant to do.
What a fucking sad, miserable existence.
Over 5 million people consume the free content that I put out on a weekly basis. And we have big, big plans to grow that number. I have a collection of best-selling courses that have helped people experience breakthroughs in their business, big and small. I have the most powerful top earner mastermind in our profession, representing companies all over the world. And we work together to raise the bar for everyone in network marketing. And in talking about pure results, okay? Over the last 14 years, I've helped millions of people enjoy a nice part-time income. I've helped well over 10,000 people to create a 6-figure annual income. And I've helped over 500 people get their network marketing income to over $1 million a year.
How do you quantify that? How can you attribute, like, let's be clear, this guy sells information, basically. He sells motivation and advice on how to be successful in network marketing. How can you attribute your teachings to their success or their earnings? You're not the only person they're listening to. They have uplines. They have other mentors. They're listening to Jim Rohn. They're listening to Tony Robbins. They're listening to you. They're watching you. How do you know that?
Critics will take shots. I get that. People want to blame. I get that also. But for those critics on the sidelines, I encourage you to step up and try to outproduce me in terms of the value you bring to our profession.
For anyone who criticizes me for being a scammer, I challenge you to scam harder than me.
Let's compete to see who can bring the most value. That way, everyone wins. If we focus on taking shots at each other.
What he's basically saying is like, your criticism is invalid because I make more money than you. Which is complete nonsense, of course.
Everyone loses. And finally, if my approach to the companies and the leaders I work with makes a person not want to promote what I do, or maybe distance themselves from me, that's clearly their choice. I think it's a bad choice, but I can still respect it. As for me, I'm going to continue to do what I've always done, and that's everything in my power to help people around the world with the mindset, skills, and strategy necessary to become a true network marketing professional. To not only be earners in our business, but to be real leaders as well. So for all of my friends in network marketing, get used to seeing this face, because I'm going to be everywhere. Because honestly, I'm just warming up. And do me a favor, would you? If I've helped you in any way during your journey in network marketing, let me know in the comments, would you please? It would make my heart happy. Let's continue to work together to make network marketing everything that it should be, and helping more people around the world understand the gift that is our profession. I love you all.
I just hate his little smug smile, you know? His little smug smile, and like, I can just see Eric Worre being the type of guy who just like is so nice on camera, but just has the worst fits of like angry rage and just turns completely like cherry red. I can totally see that. You know, the type of people we have in our world is crazy. So true. Where's my future? It's an evil world we live in. Do I have that?
It's an evil world we live in.
So true. This is the equivalent of saying to all my haters, my haters are my motivators. Okay, I got to piss again. And I don't know, I was done after 2.5 hours. Now it's been damn near 4 hours again. I'm out. Y'all can't make me do this. Y'all can't well, you could. I mean, you could force me if we... It's that Streamlabs link in the chat. But y'all can't force me. We finish. We finish.
Marco.
What's the move? I'll see y'all, some of y'all in person tomorrow. And the rest of y'all, be blessed, be safe. Watch the new multi-level misery interview I dropped yesterday. Watch this on replay. Drink some water. Go for a walk. And I'll be back on Wednesday. Why don't I have more subscribers? Ask them. Ask the people who haven't subscribed why they haven't done it. Peace out, y'all. Appreciate you. Peace.